Wait. Oh God.
Hey.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Damn, getting cold on the other side.
We getting cool across the pond, eh?
Oh, getting cold.
Start finding your way back.
Well, hello, Miss Carrie. I mean, Charlene.
Hello, Miss Duncan, Sister Duncan, Stephanie Salamartu Duncan.
All of that.
Yeah. Well, call my Nina. Call all my Nina. You know all my names?
Oh, yeah, nee. Where
Charlene.
Mm-hmm.
Charlene Alexandra Carey.
Mm-hmm.
That's my name.
CAC?
CAC all day, every day.
CAC. And who you are calling Bama of the Week?
Oh, Salamartu, you are the Bama of the Week.
You have to tell where that comes from, because you know you got some folks who are not from the DC area, or they're not from the 90s area. They have no clue
back
what that
in the
is.
day, DC.
Somebody else like, what's a Bama? I'm like, you don't need to know.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, some young, they're young, very young.
They gotta be young and they're not from the area.
No.
Yes. So is Huggy Lowdown. Huggy Lowdown was like a featured guest on the Donnie Simpson show, and then he went over to Russ Parr, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was Russ Parr show. So Huggy Lowdown always had these skits. So he would talk about like the underdog for the week. So it was just like he would talk about the Redskins, whatever the case may have been. So it was always funny when he would come on and be like, "It's Friday." And then he'll come on, he'll say, "Donnie, what's the deal? Pickles, is everything kosher?"
Everything is kosher.
Everything is kosher. And then he'll go through like the whole skit, da-da-da-da-da. Then it was always somebody that he would pick on, and I decided to pick on Salamartu this week. I was like, "Salamartu Duncan, you are the Bama of the week. So you actually have to like know Huggy Low Down.
Yeah.
Huggy Low Down to appreciate.
Yeah. Someone said, "What's a Bama?" I'm like, you don't need to know. If you don't know, you don't need to know. Just let that one go.
Yeah, just let it go over your head. If you're not from the area, you won't know. You won't understand. Oh, what's that? My pepper that's flying.
It's getting cold.
Go inside.
Oh,
go inside. So what's up? How was your week?
Oh, weekend was kosher.
Was kosher. Everything was kosher.
Everything was kosher. No, honestly, it's been a very quiet week for me. One, I've been nursing my mouth. So this past week, I haven't drank any alcohol. I've been eating like light food, soup, fufu. I don't know how people can eat fufu every day. Like every day they eat fufu. Anyway, so Friday evening was like the first time in a week that I actually went out. I went by the waterfront in DC, which was crazy because I remember, I grew up in the Maryland, DC area. So the waterfront, the wharf, it was kind of like, you go there, they have a seafood market, but they also have like restaurants, and it's changed so much. So this was like the first time I had been there in probably over 8 years. And I remember when I lived in this area, we used to go there like on Sundays for brunch, which was really nice. You go on the water, you eat. So, but I went on a Friday night. At this age, there was traffic, there was a concert happening. So, it was like crazy. So I was annoyed. I'm driving like, oh my God, I just need to be home. But we ended up going to another restaurant in DC, and it was really nice eating out on the street. So it was the first time I actually had a solid meal. I still didn't drink.
Good for you.
Yes. So yeah, so when I went out, and then yesterday I have some girlfriends that I've known since high school. So you're talking about over years of friendship. Uh, um, and we just kind of hung out, since I've been back this time. We hadn't been like hanging out. So when we hung out, and I had a little bit like a wine cooler, girl. Wine cooler is not no alcohol. It's like 3%.
Freeze up.
Yeah. And I drank it. I didn't even finish drinking it. And then I just end up drinking tea. But and they're like, "You're so old." I'm like, "Yeah." But it was just really nice to sit back, catch up. And then today I hung out with my cousins. I have a lot of cousins, but this is like my first cousins who are like my siblings, slash my first friends, I will say. And
Yeah.
we went out to a seafood restaurant because if you know anything about the Maryland area, we are the home of the crabs. Okay. So we had like a all you can eat seafood. It was really nice in Frederick. So that was
Okay.
that was about it for my weekend. It was just very relaxing. How was yours in sweet LIB? Wow, I'm sorry. We're waiting on our two hosts, Robina and Claude. And we're also waiting on our guest host, the lawyer. So, we can't fuss at the lawyer, Dede. So, whenever he comes home, I got to take the counsel. So, yeah, while we wait on there, Charlene, how was your weekend in the LIB?
Well, my weekend was okay. My weekend, like I always say, my weekend are usually very uneventful, very, low key. But Friday, went to work, came home and didn't do anything Friday evening, came home, went to sleep. Yesterday was my cousin Al. Alan Coker, he passed away a couple of weeks ago. So the funeral was yesterday and I watched it on YouTube. It was such an experience because Al was such a lively person. Like when you're in the room with Al, he was like always cracking jokes and just talking, you know what. So to like watch his funeral, that was when reality hit that Al had actually passed away. I mean, if you know Al, he had a difficult time. He lost both his parents at a very young age.
Oh, wow.
So he had a very difficult time as an adult. He had some issues, but nonetheless, he was not anything less than the rest of us. He was a great person to be around, just a very loving family person. He always used to tell me that he was like, "Oh, cuz you so far, you look just like your mom. That my only auntie ever had a crush on." So like he always used to say that, and he was just always so funny. So I watched his funeral service yesterday, and it was a very somber moment, but it was just so him. Like people spoke frankly and boldly about who Al was. It wasn't like they got up and just spoke that this man was such an angel that dropped from the sky. People talked about his hardships and the difficulties that he had in life. So it was just a great replica of who Al was. So that's what I did yesterday. And today, a friend of mine, Tanu Henry, he's a friend from Maryland. So he's been here in Liberia for 3 months now. So it just happened that he's actually leaving this week. So he's like, "Oh, Charlene, you gotta come hang out with me." So he and I went out and just sat and just talked about like our old days back in Maryland, of course. So that was it. And we had a really good time, just caught up on, what we're doing, where we are in life. And so it was just really good to meet up with an old friend and see that he's doing well and successfully going about his day-to-day activities. So that was it.
And he was in Liberia for 3 months.
He was here for 3 months working remotely and just doing his thing. So, he's an amazing guy. Like if you sit and talk to him, you're like, okay, yeah, Tamu, you're doing great. I'm really proud of him.
Oh, and I'm sorry about your cousin. It's so funny because I kept seeing his name on social media, and the people that he hung around. I know my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let Dede in,
Okay.
but I know I probably knew him or saw him just watching the circle that he hung with. Well, hello, handsome.
Hello.
Oh, but Dede, you look fine. You getting it, speaker?
You on mute,
You're
man.
mute.
Mute. Yes. Happy Sunday,
Happy
everybody.
Sunday.
Happy Sunday, happy week, happy new week. Oh, but Dede, you look good. What happened?
I
Wait, that's what
You did not
yeah,
supposed to look
you
good.
show up the day you just vexed.
No,
I have to introduce you guys.
What up, though?
This is my cousin.
Hi.
He calling himself Alpha now. This is Nanso Dix. Ninanso Dix.
And I begin your horn in the picture.
This is my first friend in the world.
Okay.
And this
Hello,
is my
Salamartu,
brother.
first friend.
Yeah, it's my cousin, but it's like we are my grandmother's last two children. We don't know about the other
Okay.
grandchildren.
I agree.
So yeah, we first and second. So yeah, this is like my brother. So Nansa,
I just want to
this is
say hi,
Dede,
y'all.
and that's
Good to
Charlene,
see y'all.
and the people are
I
watching.
know.
Hey,
So yeah, like the
Nancy.
people are pulling.
Yeah, we heard a lot about you and we saw the picture. Hi again, Salamartu. Let's see.
Y'all,
Yeah,
y'all have a good one, okay?
Yes, we will.
Nansa. Okay. So yeah, but we were just talking about like what your week was like this week. And for those of you who don't know who this young man is, this is Dede. Let me kind of spell Dede last name. Nyeplu.
No, Nyeplu.
That is what I said.
Don't be like the American people.
No, the American people should say Nyeplu.
Oh, they can call it all kinds of ways. I can tell. I say you can pronounce Trump. You be able to pronounce my name.
Jesus.
Let go all again. It's Nyeplu. They would twist it. I said, let go all again. I say you get it right. Yep.
Yep. Nyeplu.
Yep.
Yes. So this young guy, you know how some of us just frisking. We frisking because we know we got a cool lawyer. Let me stop. So Dede is he's in legal service. He's a lawyer. Let me put it that way. A lawyer. I always get confused when people say, like, don't call me counselor or don't call me attorney. There's something different. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, you are a lawyer, you are an attorney, you are a counselor, you everything, my man.
Yeah.
And so when you're bringing it to me, I just know I got one lawyer. He's not good at what he does. And maybe that's why he can afford to be like, yeah, you're bringing out with you with your. But yeah, Dede, so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just tell us about your week.
Oh, my week was great though. So I started a new job 2 weeks ago. Really nice place, cool people, chill. So it's been quite an adventure because I'm still in training and still doing a lot of orientation. But so far, so good. It's been nice. It's part in office and part telework. So I telework Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going office Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Nice. So now it's in DC. So it's hip it's hip already. So Friday, this gone Friday afterwards, I went out for happy hours. I went out for a happy hour with some friends downtown DC. And my Friday evening was men, like we can say in Liberia. So my week was actually good. I had a good week. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to, this week too. Yeah, what else can I say?
This week, I know people are just like, when are you coming back? I come in. You're just
Let us enjoy how.
Let me enjoy myself. Who in the air?
Yeah.
What is happy hour like in DC now? Because I worked in DC back in like early 2000. So what is happy hour like in 2021?
I don't know how it was looking then, but happy hours now, most often because of COVID, so there's a capacity restriction, especially for indoors. But most often, because the weather is good too, I mean, there's a lot of outdoor seating with restaurants and bars. And I mean, they still try to mitigate the crowdiness. So people sit outside more and just enjoy the weather. But it's from a lot of professional people.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, DC is, I mean, largely a Black, I mean, the DMV era is a largely Black African-American crowd. So you tend to see a lot of young people, professionals, non-professionals, which I like. The drinks are good, the vibes, they got a lot of good places, the vibes good, the music good. And most the people now drifting towards more Afro beats. The beat song that Joanna, tell them say, Joanna, not only African song. So yeah, but the drifting Afrobeat. So yeah, a lot of Afrobeats to places where you go, which is good. Because DC is like a melting pot of different nationalities, a lot of different people. So which is good.
Wow. Yeah, man, Dede, I should have called you our EDC on Friday night. But I was so annoyed because I usually stay in the suburbs in Maryland. So I had to drive instead of taking an Uber to DC. Okay. And when I got there, man, the traffic, I got so annoyed.
Oh no, the traffic. I can take the train, so yeah, that traffic and parking.
Yeah, but we ended up going to a restaurant, like you said, it was out on the street. They actually blocked off one of the streets, I think P Street, and they had all the chairs out there. But like 12 o'clock, they had to move the chairs from the street, and then we had to go onto the patio. So the crowd had died down at that time. But it was just really nice to like literally sit outside, eat, just see young people, and like you said, you know, very diverse area. You just got everybody when they say wear masks, nobody crying, they wear it. When they say take it off, they take it off. Nobody crying. But when the further south you move, of course, that when the people got problem with the mask, they won't wear it. Yeah. But a nice week. Now in Liberia, I forgot to add that for the past couple of weeks, I've been planning the Made in Liberia Fair portion of the Liberia Tourism Association. They hosted the World Tourism Day, which is actually tomorrow, but it was celebrated with a festival on Saturday at Painesville City Corporation. So big thanks to the Liberia Tourism Association, their whole crew. Mrs. May Yuri, she is the president. I'm going to let Rabina in. Mayor is the president, and just kind of working with them. And of course, Lisa, let me call Lisa, let me say Josephine with, when you hear the John Rum in Patawi, the company actually owns the John St. Paul's Rum, and then they're managing Patawi Waterfalls. And she's one of the officers in LENTA, which is the Tourism Association. So last year was the first time they hosted National Tourism Day. So this year was the second year, and the Made in Liberia Fair, Inc., that's me, we partner with them to host the vendors portion of it. So they do like a parade, and it's really to promote tourism, not just to get foreigners to come to Liberia, but also to encourage Liberians to travel within Liberia, to identify some of our local attraction, like the Patawi, like Sapo National Park, like the beaches in Grand Bassa and Robert Sports, Nana Lodge, just for us to kind of celebrate our own tourism.
What we got.
Yeah.
What we got is a lot though.
I mean, and you know, planning it virtually, when you're working with good people, you really don't need to be in the room having meetings after meetings after meetings, because we did a lot of things virtually because I was far away. Of course, want to say a big thank you to my team on the ground, specifically to Rika White. Thanks for all your patience with me. And so my you know, my right hand Ines, it's a young guy who been working with me for the past almost 3 years now. Just amazing. So, but before I go on, hello Rabina. Hi, how are you?
Hi. Sorry, I'm off guard.
With the
really?
wine in the background.
Oh no, well, excuse me, I wasn't gonna start that way, but I guess after I figured, you know. Hi, darling. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
You look splendid.
Thank you.
Gorge.
Yeah. So
Hi, ladies.
Hey. So
Hey,
we're talking
Hi.
about like what we did for the weekend first before we get into the hot topics.
Okay.
So yeah, let us know what you did for the week.
This week, my last week was hectic because, as you all know, what I've been doing it has become official. There were
What is it?
hectic, very hectic. You girls know because when you came for my birthday, you saw how I was all over the place. But Friday was my final assessment done. Did exceptionally well. And so my week was getting ready for that. And then my weekend, I just kind of yesterday I met up, of course, went to my favorite spot because I've been there for a few weeks.
The Dumba spot.
Yeah, my spot. And then after I was supposed to go to a party. Let me tell you, how 50 is showing me something. I was supposed to go to a party yesterday. I got home. I was sitting outside for a while, so my sinus started bothering me. I was like, I'm not going. So I got dressed. I took my clothes off. I took a nice shower. When you look, I was in my bed. Gone. I woke up 12 o'clock midnight. I was like, oh, I was supposed to go to a party.
I can be.
So
I
you
was
didn't
like,
go.
oh heck, whatever. I slept and I'm glad I rested because I didn't realize how exhausted I was.
Yeah, your body will speak to you. Your body will speak to you. You got to listen to it. When you're tired, you're tired.
Yeah. So my weekend was quiet. So today I just kind of cleaned my house. I was bumping around the house, cleaning, cooking. I got a couple of folks coming over this evening. So
nice.
that's it. Yeah.
drink some wine.
Oh, I see you in the background.
I'm downstairs.
I see one.
Yeah, but downstairs, this is how you never spend much time down here. And
No,
you
I
see
spent
this
upstairs where the wine was plenty. Oh, my record player.
Yeah.
Keep on there, Ma. Come in.
It's here in my
it's an LP player. It's so cute. I saw it at the Walmart. She actually had one upstairs. So I saw it and I wanted one. So we went to the Walmart. They had another one. Is it the same color that you have?
Yeah,
the one I got.
same color is
Same color, yeah. And I just saw it was so cute. Of course, I don't have one LP, but I will get some. But I just thought it was so cute, vintage, but it has a YouTube speaker, YouTube player on it as well.
Okay.
So yeah, but now I keep it. You're like, bro, get into that thing right now. You gotta keep it here. But yeah, so I was just telling them about the World Tourism Day. We had
so the
but let me tell you, so the only thing, when I'm not there, I get nervous. I'm like, y'all take pictures. I want to see pictures. I want to see live. I want to a big yeah. They would send one picture here. I tag them, they ignore me. I don't know what to do. So yeah, but it looked like everything turned out good. I thought it was gonna rain because I looked at the weather here. And of course, as I told Mrs. Yuri, I said, unless one of y'all talk to God, it said it's gonna rain. So the morning of, she said, well, I don't know who you're talking to. Maybe you're talking to the devil because it's not raining.
I told the God it didn't rain at all yesterday.
Yeah, so the weather was nice, even though we planned for inside because last year the rain smoke us. And last year, before we even get to the hot topic, let me tell you. So last year we did not plan to use the hall. We literally planned to be outside
in the yard.
Yeah, and then it started to rain. And then we had an angel who was there, cousin Christine Tauber, Norman.
Oh, yeah.
Cousin Christine, she's like, Matu, no, we got to make sure everything okay. What do you need? I said, the people said we need gas, we need fuel. She went and got gas slips for me, paid for the hall, told the people to open that hall and let the vendors in. So 1 year to the date. Of course, we lost cousin Christine a couple of months ago. Yeah, so she was our angel last year, and apparently she was our angel yesterday, making sure that it did not rain. So,
I remember how she used to say, y'all come to me now.
Yeah. I
It
will,
would be
yeah,
like,
every day. You come into Bento,
you come
you will
into
do this
Bento?
in Bento. I want you on the task force in Bento.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I
my
need to go to
God.
Bento.
Hey, yeah.
But
Wow.
anyway, yeah, so good deal. Thank you, Linta, for allowing, the Made in Liberia Fair to be a part of it. I'm so looking forward to next year event. So I will be on the ground next year. So God's willing.
Okay.
God's willing. So yeah, so as we're talking about this week, so we had an interview. It was pre-recorded with Counselor Seward Cooper on the issue of dual citizenship. I don't know if you had an opportunity to watch that, Dede.
No.
Okay, so yeah, we did this interview. It's about an hour long. Just talking about the case, the 2019 ruling. Alvin Take Jallo.
Yes.
He sued the government when he's a naturalized American, and he went to the Liberian embassy in DC to get a passport, and they denied him. So he sued them because he said, he referenced a clause in the Constitution that the Constitution and the Alien and Nationalization Act was conflicting. Yeah. And he won, even though the case had lingered for so long. But Councilor Cooper, Musa Dean, and who was the third person? Kokoya, what the guy that was at NEC?
Jerome Kokoya.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they took on the case, but of course, Jerome was he appointed at NEC, so then he had to walk.
Yeah, the recuse.
Yeah. So they finally got a ruling in 2019, which pretty much said that the Constitution only addressed one issue of dual citizenship. And that is if you are born into a marriage of a foreign parent, then you have to decide. Anything outside of that, you're pretty much adding a citizenship to your resume, I guess. So you, as a Liberian, once you are Liberian born to two Liberian, you are Liberian. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Period. The end. And of course, some of us, as I always say, there's a lot of us who were born to Liberian parents. My mom, my pop, my both grandparents on both sides, they're all Liberians. I was born in Liberia. But like so many people who maybe they left because of the war, maybe they even left because of 1980, maybe they just left because they went for they left.
Change your thing.
Yeah. And you go back to Liberia, and of course, many of us have traveled to that airport. You literally juggling passport, you literally paying people to get. Yeah, I'm saying it, paying people to go through. Yeah, and it really should not be, because I always explain to people, I said, when you go to the airport, the airlines is concerned about the country that you're going into.
Right.
Immigration should only be concerned about if you have legal rights to be in that country. They shouldn't be asking you if you got 10 different passports. They're not a business.
No, that's none of their business.
But it just always seemed like this issue of there's two issues for those of you who don't know. There's the issue of non-Negro, and then there's the issue of Liberians obtaining a second citizenship.
Right.
And it's just such a hot topic. Yeah, that we fight with each other to be citizens.
Right.
But so we had that interview. If you didn't watch, I would suggest you go on the page. I will put the link here. You can go and watch the interview. It's only an hour long. So yeah. Let me
so Marty, of course, I engaged in.
Oh yeah.
Marty, there were other conversations about that interview. And whenever I have some time, we can sit and discuss that. But, there were some coming back at me about it, about interpreting the law and what it means. Every counselor, and maybe you would pop in about this one, that you all have different views about how you interpret the law. So there were some coming, it was a good interview, but it's how you interpret the law. And when you go to the Supreme Court, and the
Supreme Court rules, they already interpret. Yeah, it's not that we keep. Yeah, we've been asking that question. Nobody has explained it to us. Nobody has challenged the government on it until this guy came and challenged it. So the Supreme Court actually interpreted it for us. So what other interpretation?
So this counselor was a bit,
Well, the counselors that were on the case obviously sold it, and the Supreme Court bought their case.
Their
So that's why they ruled in favor
exactly.
of the Jalo. So regardless of how you want to interpret it, I mean, you can say a sentence and I can say another sentence, and we can interpret it in two different ways. But however the judgment came down, it came down in favor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think we need to, the thing is, we don't challenge government constructively.
No.
No, I'm just saying we don't challenge government, and I'm saying constructively because the way we challenge government, we usually come on social media, we cuss, we get frustrated, we yell, we go to the
Instead of going to the proper change.
Yeah, we don't do it constructively.
No, this is why I think everything is noise. You know,
but also we don't do it constructively because we're not used to it. For a long time, we haven't known about channeling things through, especially things that affect fundamental rights. We don't like to challenge it in the courts, and most of the time, in order for you to exert that right or to get or redress for a violation of your rights, you have to go through the courts. But our history with the courts and our history of our legal system has been sketchy over the years, especially because of the 14 years conflict. And prior to that, with the Doe era and everything else, the courts weren't seen as places of last resort where people will go to get redressed for anything, be a property rights violation, be personal rights violation, employment, and everything else. People didn't see the court as one to pass judgment in their favor or to just rule on this issue and settle it. So most often people will decide to fight, burn each other down, cuss each other, and see it as a way to address the issue instead of going through the courts for a resolution of those issues. I mean, and for now, since been a couple of years, almost 12, 15 years now, people, especially most Liberians, we've come to understand that once the court say this, Supreme Court rule, and we've gotten to appreciate, irrespective of us liking the outcome of a ruling of an opinion from the Supreme Court, but we've seen it during our elections period. People go to courts, the Supreme Court will rule and say this person won, this person lost. And electoral candidates have become to accept the judgment of the Supreme Court and live by it. So there's a little bit of respect nowadays. I mean, our society has come to appreciate what the courts can do, why the courts are there to resolve conflicts, and how we can respect the ruling of the court and be better citizens and following what the rule of law says.
Yeah. But yeah, so with that said, I think we do need to sue them. We need to realize that no, but no, you know,
especially when you know that you got
yeah.
What she know, we all rest like you're like go.
Yeah.
You're like go. And she'll be in the front too. You're like go. And she like the right.
Another friend of mine told me when she went to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the minister, one of the assistant or deputy minister did tell her, say that they were instructed to let the employees know not to be asking those questions. You know, if Liberian person come there and they have all the right documents, you give them their passport. Don't be asking them about what other passport they have.
That's none of your business.
Yeah. So we know the law, but because we don't challenge it or because we don't like it, and I don't understand what this thing about not wanting Liberians to keep Liberian citizenship, that shouldn't even be an argument, I don't think. But sometimes I think it's also envy, because I hear people talking about, oh yeah, they should keep it. We all Liberians, but they should keep it, but they can't run for government office. Really?
No, it stifles competition. It stifles, in my view, it stifles competition. And most of the people who saying that they don't want people to compete with them for ideas and for living in a country and, you know, and being citizen, enjoying the fruits of citizenship, all right? Because it doesn't make sense for you to say, okay, the person is a citizen, but then they got restrictions on the citizenship. Like they were proposing in the previous bill, I think that's still pending in the legislature. There are certain positions that dual citizens wouldn't be able to occupy. And, you know, it's a way of restricting the person's right to enjoy the fruits of the citizenship under the Constitution. With citizenship comes certain rights and fundamental rights that everybody should enjoy. One of it is to be running for public office or holding public office and employment. Now, if you say I can be a citizen, but I'm a second-class citizen, so you put me in a tier. You put me in a second-class tier. There are certain things I cannot achieve or attain. But I could say just enjoy the level of being a citizen, but I cannot attain those fruits. I put it that way. That comes with enjoying the rights of the citizen. So it doesn't make sense.
Right. So why should I be there?
Well, why should I be there? But it's just like we like to pigeonhole people and put them in boxes and restrict them because we feel that's the only way we can succumb them, or we can restrict them being happy in the country and living to the best of their potential. I think it stifles competition of ideas, it stifles competition of innovation, and people wouldn't feel wholly citizen, you know. It's just like you got it, but you got it. So you can enjoy some of it where I will enjoy because I've been on the ground and you left. Now you won't come back and you won't take everything away from me. I don't see it that way. I don't think it that way.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't think we understand that when you have competition, it's good. Because it actually pushes you to be your best. And that's just, but we don't have that understanding there. You know, it's all because we've been in that situation for so long, for so many years. It has become a part of, I'm intimidated, or no, I have leverage over it. So it's seen as leverage versus let's just all do it and then do it to the best of our ability. And we see what the outcome is going to be. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, I always say sometimes we need, you know, I hear people always pointing out to like countries like Rwanda, and they're like, look at when they're talking about development, they talk about Rwanda, they talk about Ghana, they talk about Nigeria. And my first question is, you know, we as Liberians, are we ready to do what Rwanda, Nigeria, Ghana, and what they're doing to get the country to where they are? And one of those things is human capital. They don't shy away from the citizens that left. Rwanda had a genocide. It was a very short time. They killed people. It was horrible. Their professional left, but the professional went back. They didn't stop them from being citizens in the country. The same thing with Nigeria, the same thing with Ghana. So instead of saying, you know what, y'all were able to leave, we weren't able to leave, they said, no, if you have some kind of technical skills or whatever, and you're willing to come back, it may not be in the public sector, it might be in the private sector. We welcome you, come back. And, you know, Liberians, we need to stop fighting each other so much, because I look at this as you're fighting Liberians. The country would never grow when you, like you said, Dede, when you stop putting people in boxes and you say, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this. Only this group of people can do this. And we do have a history. It may not be citizenship wise. We have a history in Liberia of doing that. But I think that's another topic for another year, a long show. But these are the things that we know we need to start addressing. Because I always say our generation, it has to stop with our generation. The tribalism, the hatred towards the divide. You know, you left me and what happened to you.
Yeah. You know, thinking you're better than the next person just because that's not how it should be. It really shouldn't be that way. We actually, the reality is we are behind because of this mentality, and it's tiring. It is time to move on. It's time to address it, and it's time to move on. We are behind because of it. Let's just take everything out the box. We are behind because of it, literally.
Yeah. So and as we celebrating the bicentennial of the settlers arriving in Liberia, which is next year, I'm gonna let Claudia in. You trying to get African Americans to come to Liberia. This should not be an issue of Liberians being citizens. So we need to get it together, and we need to get it together really fast. But yeah. So yeah, well, that's that. If you missed the interview, you can go to either Salamartu and Friends on Facebook. You can go to salamartu.com and watch the interview. It's an hour long. And honestly, Counselor Cooper is one of those lawyers that I respect.
Yep,
respect.
me
He's a
too.
brilliant man.
Yeah.
So go watch the interview. And like I said, the Supreme Court has interpreted, let's stop arguing over this matter.
Exactly.
Accept
You
the
know?
Liberians for who they are, letting come in. We got
Why is
second,
that having that conversation?
our second issue that non-Negro, that the one we all need to be on the same page about. But that is the other fight that will come. But hey, Claudia.
Hello, I was waiting for a 10, my time.
I know, right? Don't worry. You in the seafood. I just kind of went
Anyway,
on.
let me first with
So I just checked my
on
phone.
here.
The two sisters, Chinchin.
They
I
suggest
mean, y'all can't be running opposition in this camp here. You
I'm
know?
telling you, man. What happened here?
You guys have to be able to communicate immediately.
Charlie, please talk for me.
No.
Charlie, second talk for you because
Charlie, please stop talking. Let her talk.
What I will say is there was a comment made earlier that Liberians do not read, and clearly.
Thank you.
To carry on.
Can you? Thank you, Miss.
Oh, really?
Can you believe this, Dede?
You follow me on
I changed.
You follow me on Karen?
So yeah.
You follow me Batu?
We'll be out there. Don't mind it.
All right.
But okay, so now as we're talking about oppositions, what is going on in the CPP? What topic he coming? I cannot. I am a Liberty Party participant. I cannot.
Oh my God!
I am a petty person in CPP.
But for me, I enjoying the cat fight though. I enjoying it. I enjoying it.
You know,
I think they're trying.
Storming too much.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoying it. I think and hoping that they all this going back and forth fight, I think it'll help for them to recalibrate and reset themselves. And I think it's like you know, you letting the tree to grow, you got to prune every now and then to pick out the dead spots.
Yeah,
I think the CPP is not going to, in my mind, I think they're not going to break up. I think they're going to all these conflicting times so they can set themselves so when the time comes for election that next year, right? 2023.
Yeah.
I think when the time comes, they'll better be prepared for national leadership because they figure out all of your nonsense. They got it together and they're ready now to lead if they win. But I think I enjoy it. I think it's a good thing. It's a marriage.
Healthy. It's healthy.
And that marriage is a lot of mess and a lot of noise. You gotta figure out, you gotta figure out. I haven't been married before, but I know I've read that it can be messy. It can be
very ugly. Very ugly. They're storming and then they will form. I talked about it. So let them go do their thing. They're all right. What, Daddy?
So I hope that your theory is correct, because obviously this is what we're going through and this is what we're seeing, and we're seeing in the media. My only contention is that we're seeing it in the media. We're seeing it. I mean, in the past, these things happen in the boardroom, in-house. So for us to be seeing it in the media is what bothers me. But this is the era.
New reality.
This is the era that
honestly, I think it is
media, social media, and transparency. So it is what it is, and I hope your theory on what the CPP is going through is actually right, and we do get it together and move forward.
I think they are a bit irresponsible the way they. Obviously, we expect them to fight, but fighting should not mean bringing the laundry outside to the public. Dede, you're talking about marriage. Obviously, nobody wants to have a marital, argument on Broad Street. That is rare. That is when there is no way to control anything. The fact that they had agreed in private that this is their plan, this is their vision, they want to work together. Obviously, they all have, they have come from different parties with different agendas, but the vision is the same. The vision has always been to make Liberia a better place. That has always been the vision for everybody whoever wanted to be president. So if they have quarrels and they have people in their camp or their so-called spokesperson that have no regard for the other leaders of the other camp. It shows that when they are in leadership, they won't be able to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Because you should be able to chastise, why they say control your door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be able
Yeah.
to
Ovulation.
you should be able you should be able to control your team, whatever is coming out there, because at the end of the day, no matter how bad it gets, you have decided that you will work together for the common good. How will it be to sit around a table? Obviously, everybody will sit around that table with increased doubts. Nobody will trust their friend on anything.
And that's what's happening
You
now.
cannot have any argument. You can have
That's what's
argument,
happening
but
now.
you know, the way it is coming to the public, I feel is extremely irresponsible.
Yeah.
They need a leader to step up.
Documents,
Somebody has to step up.
And you know what?
they need-
I agree with what Claudia is saying. We understand that this is a new organization. We're hoping that all of this fight will prepare them for 2023. However, what is happening that you got 4 parties that trying to agree on one person. So that 4 leaders who, I don't care what anybody said, that 4 leaders who went to the table believing that they could win standard bearer. Maybe along the way, somebody decided, you know, I will not go through with it, but there were 4 different leaders with a bunch of people behind it. Some of the people they're disciplined, some of the people they're not disciplined. You bring in all of these people into one party to decide on one standard bearer.
Yeah.
If you cannot go in a room, you sign a document. If you have a problem with that document, you go back in a room and go talk it over. If you have to bring it to the public in the manner in which you're bringing it to the public, it tells a lot of the other people who are sitting outside who may not be part of a political party, who looking for some group to join. They will say, well, you know what? Yeah, it people then so disorganized. Then what I'm gonna vote for the current people then for. Same we getting used to that.
Honestly, in my view, I don't respect any of the leaders of
Hey,
political party. Yeah,
no, you respect,
me.
you respect people.
I don't respect. I don't respect them in terms of them being responsible enough to do the right thing. For me, it's common sense. I practice as an HR manager. When I have contracts given out for new employment for people, I would tell them to read every page of the contract and put their initial at the lower end of the page, the lower left or right end of the page, before the end of the contract at the last sheet where you have to write out your full name and sign it. How the hell will you prepare a document for a whole country to serve as your framework, and then you have one member of the party taking Tessie to carry the signature sheet to different people to sign it because you decided to change some clause in the document or something? That whole paperwork, the paperwork is not heavy. You don't need trailer to carry it around. If you're going to a Uri farm, or you're going to Boyka's house, or to Cummings' house, or to Senator Kanga's place, you should take the complete document. Let all of them proofread this final copy and sign it, and you can get it in place.
Wait. Are you saying, it's laughable?
Yes.
Are you saying
the
people took the signature page, the last page,
yes,
took it to Salamartu, they took it to Robina, they took it to Charlie one by one?
Yes. According to Mariah Yekula from the Cummings camp, she said that they agreed to make amendments, your legal words, in the contract.
Yeah.
So the amendments were made and the political leaders discussed the amendments. So Mo Ali was charged with the responsibility of taking the signature sheet to the heads of the different political parties for them to sign. No. And then they brought it back and they attached it on the document and they took it and carried it to Nick. What kind of
sense? You sign something that you even know what in the body of the document?
Exactly. Even people, I don't even know what part of the world that ever happens. It never does. So all the argument they are making and talking about, oh, there's changes made. Yes, there is changes made, but they
But do you
themselves
know the
don't know
change?
what the change is. Because you should have had the
see
full
it?
documents to say, okay, this clause was changed from this to
From
this.
this to
Okay, I
this.
agree. So I'm going to sign where the clause is changed, and then I will sign at the back of the document. They did not do that.
Yeah.
And the people that are supposed to come, they would say the whole library will be inside and
And they will not know because they will be carrying the
This is why we
signature
have
sheet
the
around.
knotted thumb up. Gotcha. This is why. So we need a soup now that we blend it. Oh my God.
Well, all I can say, what not happen, not happen. That number one. It not
The
happen.
milk,
Yeah.
the milk, the smell milk.
Two,
So
yeah. It took almost 2 years for somebody to say, oh, that's not what I agreed to. Something changed. Then the other man said, but what did you say change? Something inside of that changed.
Right.
But
Now
what
that was the
changed?
confusion.
I know,
Right.
but something changed inside. And you
No,
did it.
but you can't just say that. You got to point to specifically
something,
what
yeah.
you change.
Uh,
But you
now
see the
I'm
amended
understanding-
document, we saw you say it changed now.
I'm understanding the change is even the change was even made on the how you call it, the clause that has to do with them being able to separate.
leave the framework. To leave
Yes, for them to be able to
party,
withdraw
collaborate.
from the framework. That was where the change was. Why would the change be on a clause that is supposed to keep the unity for you
together.
to achieve your goal?
Yes.
What sense does it make? I mean, for me, the CCPP is completely useless if at the end of the day, after 3 years or 6 months to election, I have to decide that, okay, I don't agree with any of these again. I want to leave the CPP and I still want to run as an independent candidate of my political party. So then why did you form the CPP in the first place?
Wow, the confusion.
And that is really, really, really foolish on their part. Because if anything else could have been changed in that document, it's not supposed to be about how you can get away. Yes.
Oh,
that
we'll
means
have
there's
to
something
see
else.
because honestly, I'm a little biased. We have to go to primaries. You go up, you come down, and we have to go to primaries. We have 4 candidates. So either 4 of them run, or maybe not all 4 of them run, and the delegates should vote on one standard bearer.
Yeah.
This is
But
That's
I
how
mean,
that's
is that what
it
it
happens.
means?
One
Is
When
that
they
person
what
sign
going
it back
regardless.
then, and that's what we'll understand it to be.
One
So
person's going.
all the fighting, like you said, really should not be in the public like this. But I look at it as people are promoting their standard bearer at this point, and they're promoting the standard bearer for whatever reason to the public. But
Right.
technically, with the CPP, what they agreed to ever since, let me put it in the raw way. When they went to the table and decided I agree, they agree that they will have primaries. They will have the 4 candidates. They will go there, the people who won't run. The delegates from the party, specific delegate, I think it's 310 person.
Per party.
Per
I think
party,
so.
you will go
Yeah.
and you will vote on one person, and whoever wins, that person will be the head of the CPP. And everybody, all the parties will encourage their member will vote for the person in the general election. Yeah,
That's how it's supposed
and
to
you will
work.
pay money
And
for the
that's
CPP
where
to run. Yeah, so everything that's happening for me, I'm like, one, it is very immature. It's very discouraging the way it's happening in the public. Even if you want to change something within the documents that you sign, I think the mature thing to have done was to call all the parties back and say, damn, we signed one paper, but I'm feeling some kind of way. And if the other people say, no, we won't change it, then you let it be. That's how you'll be when you eat. Yeah, when you eat, you go to UN meeting. Germany say, I agree with you. You will say, the hell with you, let's put Germany outside the room.
No, you gotta reach a consensus.
Yeah,
We just sound like
in the same country.
we sound like a broken record. Like we've been singing this one song over and over again. It's becoming redundant. We keep talking about the same thing, and it's not just us. Everybody is having this conversation, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, those people who are calling themselves leaders, they need to lead.
They need to lead. Exactly.
They need
This
to
is what
lead,
needs
like
to
we're gonna
happen. But
continue.
everybody's scared. I don't know what's
Okay.
going
But
on.
no, but let it problem here how we got our 4 people. So once you start
And let us go
controlling,
there, get up and
you
go
start
to one
controlling
room
your
and I
group,
can't come up.
the other group start talking. Then the other man not controlling your group, the other woman not controlling your group.
Yeah,
Then when the
control
woman start
talk.
controlling the group, the other group start talking. So that 4 leaders controlling 4 group of people. It will
Okay,
be
so can they
very
lead?
difficult right now.
Can they lead? Well,
I
you
think I
as a
know
leader, you're
why.
supposed to find that middle and get that. That's what leader
But
does.
you will not get the middle until you go to primaries to get one leader to have one voice.
But then y'all go and go talk and get your people to hush. That's it.
Look at it.
Salamartu, if
I
your
think I
people-
know why. I think I know why they changed the disengagement clause. Because it looks like after the primary, if the other parties are not happy,
Support one-
with the person,
yeah, they will want move.
they will want
Yes.
leave from there to go and support another party which they are
They'll go do
comfortable
their
with.
own thing. It's not even about
Yeah.
supporting
The only
another party.
reason why
It's
you
for
would
the
want to
opportunity to
change
run
at this time.
independently. So anyway, I'm tired of talking about CPP.
No, but you can't get tired, Oma. Yeah. We are the masters. We can't get
That's the
tired.
talk of the town, girl. That's
And
the hot
come next
topic.
year, that's all we're gonna be talking about. It will be
Yeah.
about elections. Whether we
Yeah.
like it or not, that's what's gonna happen. It will
By
be
that
about
time,
elections.
hopefully CPP has a standard bearer, and because for me, it's like my family. It's like my brother and my 2 brothers, they're fighting. It does not. I want my 2 brothers to fight. So let's go fight the people that outside. Let's go fight the people across the
agree.
street.
But let me tell y'all something.
Me and my brother can't be
And your
inside
mind's
the
supposed to
city,
stand
they
and
get
say, y'all
power.
can't
But
shut
That's
up.
why
let
I
me-
get power with people.
Let me tell y'all something. When the CPP get it together, because the CPP
Yeah, my
will get it
people.
together. We got plenty of first get people on what's out. Imagine when they come together.
I see.
Oh,
Imagine they will come
That's
together.
what I mean.
I am hopeful that it will come together. There
That
will
was
be some hard feelings.
People only
It
come
will.
together. People only come together when they have. That's why they say leadership is never learned. You know, it's part of an inborn tendency. If these people cannot even sit to have a conversation, how will they be? How will they accept corrections before they even come together to lead? It's not going to work. Everybody have so much ego, is
The ego.
bigger than their body
Yes.
is so big that
Yeah.
they
And
cannot
the support on
even
them pumping their up.
listen to anything that makes sense. Obviously, you want to be a leader, you should be able to go as low as the lowest man in your circle so that you understand why he thinks a certain way and
Yeah.
why he rationalizes a certain way. Get that point of view and pass it on to the other people and try to make sense of it. But this is not happening. Our leaders decide to do things the way they feel it should be done in their mind.
And they will not listen
And
to
as long as
nobody.
that is
no
happening,
listening at all.
we're not
This is
going
it.
to change.
No listening. Nobody, obviously, nobody's listening. This is why you're here, because no one's listening. The minute they start listening, you will start to cheat, but nobody's listening. So,
Well, yeah, and speaking of political party, did you hear about the Secretary General from the People's Liberation Party? What are you laughing at? I know the man.
did you not see it?
It passed.
It's over.
Okay, Salamartu.
The People Liberation Party, PLP, the Secretary General, David Bien, was shot.
Yeah.
Did he die?
No,
No.
They shoot a foot.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Claro, man.
Wow.
no, but what happened? And for those who don't know, this is the new guy who came in. Yeah, is not a new guy anymore. Daniel
Boy.
Cassell. Daniel Cassell, Dr. Daniel E. Cassell, he's the CEO and the visionary leader of the Liberian Liberation Party. The People's Liberation Party, PLP. So the Secretary General was shot. He was shot in the thigh, legs. But he seemed to be okay. Anybody know
But
what
he-
happened? Because
Yeah,
But the man
so
say, the man say, who shot him.
according to the story,
Mhm.
he had gone to Kakata to attend official functions. And he stays at the soul clinic area. And on his way back from Kakata late in the evening, probably already dark, there he noticed there were four persons on 2 bikes tailing him just before his soul clinic area. And then suddenly one of the people in the bike decided to stop in front of him. He got angry and got out from his car to tell the people to move.
Oh.
And he got shot. And from his crying and yelling, that's why that's how nearby people heard him, and then he was taken to JFK Hospital. That's the
Some people are riding around with arms now on motorbikes and stuff.
The thing is, when you have become a part of a very toxic political system like the one we have in Liberia, you have to be considerate of a lot of things. Your movement, the movement of your families, the places you go, the things you do. We do not want a country where people cannot move by freely, but that is where we find ourselves. You cannot justify, there were cases about people being kidnapped, for ritualistic purposes just, I think 2 weeks ago, with a girl who testified that, she was drugged on a bike, and then the only reason why she wasn't ritually used was because she had her menses. So there are a lot of, there are a lot of weird things happening. So if you are a political, person, you are from a party that has just been established, that has just used you as a replacement for someone who has been expelled.
Right.
There's too many enmity, or there's too many, lights on you for you not to have common sense that when you are traveling on the road, knowing that there's no light, no sidewalk, no bypass, nothing, you should have people with you in your car. You can travel late at night by yourself.
And then trying to get out of your car to go tell somebody to move.
Exactly, especially the red light area.
Yes.
Get off the car when you have horn to tell somebody to move from in front of you. If by any reason, if I'm in my car and somebody block in front of me, in the next 90 seconds, I will be thinking how I can reverse all the way as far as I can go way to go home. I'm not even going to slow down.
No.
You know what?
It's very dangerous.
Honestly,
you have been killed.
The article
and disposed of, and nobody will ever know about it. That's the hard
And
part.
nothing will come to count.
And just find you to the man what they had not knowing the people. Oh God.
And nothing
I
will
saw
come to count.
the article. And initially I didn't know who the Secretary General of the PLP was. I didn't have access to my WhatsApp, blah blah blah. So when I saw the picture of the person, I know him. And I'm just like, oh my God. But then of course they said, oh, he's okay, he's fine. I actually need to send him a little message to that thank God that he's okay. But it never occurred to me that he did just replace what a guy named Wilma Pay.
Oh, that Wilma Pay replaced,
right?
Wilma Pay was the chairman.
Oh, Wilma Pay was the chairman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought,
got expelled.
No, but apparently there were like 5 members of the political party that were expelled.
Okay. So he replaced. He did replace someone.
Secretary General was also expelled. So I don't know who the guy is, but David Bien actually replaced the Secretary General. So there were 5 or 6 members that were expelled from the political party.
Yeah, I moving forward, if I was him, like you said, Claudia, I would travel with a security. Because it's 2 suspect. And this is somebody who he moved, this is one of our, Morovia guys. He move around.
Okay. Let me ask a question here.
He's familiar with Morovia. He know people. Yeah. So
could I ask a question?
It's not a strange thing for him to be, at night coming
out and about.
Just to something, somebody stopped the motorcycle. Their first reaction is, man, where you put your motorcycle? It's okay. But now that he's in the position, I guess, move with a security personnel. from now
Can I
on.
ask a
You have to
question?
move
Go ahead.
with
So are you
Yes.
saying that the people on the bike, they were after him?
We
He
don't
said
know.
he noticed that the people were on a bike and they were following him. The fact that you even
Okay.
noticed that means you
I
have
wouldn't have gotten out of my
sense
car.
of- yes,
Right.
some sense of
Right.
defense.
No, but I mean, I'm sure that was hindsight when he obviously after this whole shooting and he starts thinking about how
Yeah.
things transpired. I'm sure he didn't realize that they were trailing him, and then he decided, let me get out of the car because they made it following me. I'm sure hindsight he started to think
Thing that
the
I
different
saw it,
scenarios as to how he got to this point. So I don't think there's anybody that would see a motorbike or a car or anybody that's following them and say, okay, I'm gonna get out of the car to go make sure, go find out who these guys are.
Considering how people been getting lost in
I
Liberia.
would not have even gotten out of my car.
Well, I think moving forward, I'm sure now when he's moving about, he more than likely will have a
Can you be honest?
have a security with him, and maybe
Right.
just a different perspective, how
Right.
he move around. But like I
Yeah.
said, this is not somebody who's new to Liberia. This is somebody who, as my uncle Farmer used to say, God rest his soul, he said, I'm a Morovia boy. You know, they used to the city, they used to moving around. There's just certain things you do because you've been doing it for so long, you don't think twice. When I in Liberia, when somebody cut in front of me, I quick to put my window down and say, what wrong with you? Something you said. I come to America, I straighten up real fast because I know it's quicker for the people to chase me and shoot me. In Liberia, they might cuss my mom, cuss my pa, but
Oh,
yeah, to think that somebody will get out of the car and shoot me, that's not something we are conscious about. So, but I
But
guess
they punched my car one day. They punched my car.
you can say,
But,
It's well,
Salamartu,
let's see. He punched my car 'cause he had, you know how they don't have those things and pushing the plank. The man was in the road. So I'm not going to open it. I said, you can't move right in the road. I mean, we on the road, we can't pass. The man put that plank things down, you know what he did? The thing fell down on his side. The man ran to he pushed it. I said, are you serious? You pushing my car? Push it. I said, you sit down up there and push it, you go. Can you imagine?
Salamartu, the way how you've been going to the shooting range, maybe you can bring a shooting range to the country and, you know,
Right.
that's a business
I told you
opportunity.
I told you I didn't make it. He will tell you himself.
Oh,
He
you
said-
saying what?
No, he wanted to take us, but he realized that the three women who are coming with him were all afraid of guns. So he said, he said, okay, before we even leave the house, you have to get at least comfortable with touch. I saw the gun see me. I'm like, is it loaded?
Oh,
Still,
wow.
Like, you
Say,
gotta
well,
get
you ready?
comfortable.
You said, well, you
Yeah,
ready?
ready.
Oh,
Yeah, he
just sit
ready.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got, for the first time, I got to actually hold a real gun without the what do you call it, the
The
magazine in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he showed me how
So
to
all of your
hold-
experience, oh.
yeah, girl, the magazine.
So it was out.
Yeah, he showed me how to hold it. And I know Patty, you're laughing. You said my hand not on the trigger. He said, technically, you should never put your hand on the trigger unless
I'll tell you
you're
what
Okay, you
you
ready to
did.
use it?
Yes.
yeah. You should
But I
learn
tell
how
you
to
that.
not put it there, hold it on there. And it's very heavy. That's the thing. The guns are, it's very heavy. I don't know how people can just be like, blah, blah, blah. The thing is heavy, so you know I had to kind of, but just to get comfortable coming next to the case, seeing the bullet, I couldn't even touch the bullet, honestly. Yeah.
So
So
that means you taste gunpowder before?
no, what about taste gunpowder? No,
No, but here's the question, have you,
So
Claudia?
what we used to open
did I
that
taste
thing to
gunpowder
smack
before?
together.
But have you tasted it?
Oh yeah,
Why'd you
Why?
do that?
Hi.
yes it did. After the war, we
Wow,
used
you
to
know
find
they
it
killed
on
the
the
cat,
ground.
right?
So
No curiosity killed the cat, right?
It is it.
Oh my
It
God.
is like,
Is it because you heard people say
it is like pencil lead.
huh,
Gladys? Wait.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I couldn't even
Don't
look.
try it. Don't try it at home. Oh.
No, we're not gonna try that at all.
So now I'm coming, I will harass him now that I've touched the gun. Let me go to the
So you can tell people you touch it.
Now I won't go to the range, you know. I really just wanted to go to take a picture, but I will
You're
Not
in-
ready, Matu.
not at all.
Not ready.
So, but yeah, so the other hot topic that happened this week, this is really a short story. Apparently, it never even happened. The Nimba commercial taxi drivers, they had threatened to have a protest on Friday because the government and other public commercial buses had come into the county and they were taking away the customer. You know, when you got more option, when the consumers have more option, the prices they can drop. So
Yeah.
Competition.
So, but apparently, from what I understand, they never had the protest. So I'm sure they had conversations with the government, and then it never happened. But I'm like, we talk about decentralizing Liberia. We talk about the private sector kind of spreading out. The commercial taxi driver, you getting upset because competition coming to the area, so the government.
Well, I can't understand what it means about other people coming from all the time, taking your customer. What are you talking about? I can't understand how
It's
it
the
is.
same thing like you coming from America and going back to Liberia, go where? It's eating.
Well, maybe there's a cartel. Maybe there's like some type of organization, some type of, organized thing that they got going on. It's like the drug game. Like people can't just come up on your block and try to sell on your block. So maybe that's how the people that are running their
So what do you do when it comes to sell your blood?
No,
But
but
then that's when gang wars start to happen, right? So maybe that is same thing happening with the people texted or deal
in all fairness, like there are a couple of things, and I'm kind of a little bit amazed that people stay so long abroad and it went back and they were in positions of trust and they didn't try to make some changes. For example, so I had to do my driving test. And I went online and found, a school to do. And the school called, they asked for my postcode. I gave my postcode, like, oh no, we are not assigned to that area. So you have to find another testing facility that is assigned to your area.
Where is this, in the UK?
Is this no?
Yeah, it's just in the UK,
yes.
Liberia.
No, in the UK here.
Yeah, because you got postcode.
Liberia got postcode.
I think they have a postcode like you.
The thing is that with Liberia, I don't know, but if we had the Ministry of Transport doing what is appropriate, that's how you get people to have bread on the table for every family. You divide the commerce of the areas. If somebody have to leave all the way from Monrovia to go and run in Nimba when the car is registered to Montserrat, you take away business. So what they do is you have to categorize the commercial activities to fit specific zones. If cars running in Monrovia and they assign, except you have the license to run cross counties, or you want to shift from time to time, yeah. But if they say that people are taking their businesses in Nimba, then where are they assigned to? So that means if everybody feel that, okay, this is farming season, yeah, Nimba is hard now because, yeah, it's a production season. Everybody being up now getting produced. So there will be need for you to have a lot of transport, like the trucks, how you call it, the Kia Moto and things, Maybe some people will even get them from Ivory Coast to come in to facilitate business. But there has been no law or no governance over that part. So if they are angry, I do see a little reason why. If a person knows that they have to make at least 3 trips a week to be able to find money for their family, and then you realize that you can only make 1 trip because you got 7 other, Kia Moto that not assigned in the area that's there, you will get angry. So I think
you're getting the produce quicker into town, and then it's not just you waiting on one car to go and come back.
Well, here's the problem. Number one,
yeah, crowded too.
We understand all of that, but number one, were they meeting the demands in Nimba?
Exactly.
Number one, for government to take the buses, they ain't got enough in Monrovia, in Montserrat County, for them to take buses, send it there. Were the commercial taxi drivers within Nimba County, were they meeting the demands? Because they're complaining not against the taxis that are coming from Monrovia, they're complaining about the commercial buses that are going to, so you got the local taxi drivers complaining about the the commercial buses. And then one of the people they need was the PLP, the CPLP party. And we know why they're over there. I mean, that one, to me, it's strictly political. They're over there because of politics right now. They're campaigning. That's what they're doing. If I lie, let them come tell me I lie. They are campaigning indirectly.
Let me ask a question, Matu, before we go any further.
Yeah, but
Do
the
we have a
buses
certain
take
time?
over. How many persons of those buses take? 70 persons or so?
Yeah.
Why would you carry
Supposed to,
those?
but yeah, that's supposed to be the number, but of course, it's probably times
It's more than 70.
Exactly. But why would you take it to Lima? They're not mini buses.
No, but like you
Why is
saying,
the population? It's not like you're taking cars that are supposed to go and bring load to the city. You're taking passenger, transportation. So I don't get that. It's not like there's a new office opening in Lima or new mines or something where people need to go to work. So they need commercial transport.
You don't know what's going to happen, Claudia. Maybe there is something that's about to happen that we.
I don't think the taxi. I think the taxis were doing the job that a commercial bus should do, because when we're talking about transport, they're transporting goods from Nimba, from Ganta to either Bon County or Morovia. So you got the taxis doing it. You got the smaller cars. Now that's why I asked the question about meeting the demands. If you have those smaller cars bringing but 6 person or 7, maybe 8 inside with the low, and then you got the buses who see an opportunity there to say, hey, look, we can make some extra money by taking more people between Morovia, Bon County, and Ganta. They saw a market, so they went there. But I do.
And look at the amount of accidents they have on that road with the people in the load. Do you see that? Do you see that?
I do believe that the government's job is to, one, you have to gather data. I think we don't know the number of accidents. We see 1 or 2 that's bad. They need to gather data. They need to sit down and plan, like you said, the commercial activities. When Claudia was talking, I was like, yeah, she not see any car with another county license plate before.
I know, because they do everything in Monrovia. They transport Liberia on. If we decide to talk about it,
don't distinguish the counties, right?
One license plate.
Everybody got to come. You got to come from all the way at the
people.
It's not we haven't decentralized, and we don't understand the importance of decentralized.
What does that make even?
Yes.
You do private businesses.
Gosh.
You have man
transport. But they're quick to go put the inspection check down by the ministerial complex in
Oh yeah.
The E10.
Oh, that thing it pissed me off.
Then they want to
black traffic everywhere. Why would you even do something like that?
SKD Boulevard and ministerial complex.
All they changing lesson.
There, at car wash.
There's a whole proper way to do
that. You'll come back to that.
Yeah, the third one.
Just speculating.
Yeah, we'll speculate. But so we have a couple of people that are watching and sending messages. I know Mombero Joa, she's also a lawyer. She was commenting, I guess, on the initial thing that we were talking about, the Supreme Court, but I don't know which case she's referencing, but lawyers have to cultivate the attitude of critiquing the Supreme Court opinions. Take, for example, the Supreme Court opinions in 2017 elections on fraud seem to be problematic. Ma, we'll have to bring you on here to explain that in the window. Oh, we know there was a ruling for their dual citizenship and y'all might leave us alone. But thanks, Maveda, for always watching. And there was a couple of people who inboxed me about the PLP Secretary General saying that the whole case looks suspicious, very suspicious. So thanks guys for watching, and if you joining us for the first time, just know that we do this every Sunday evening. It used to be at 9 p.m. but a couple of people protested and said that because they were on other continents, we should make it an hour early. So we made it an hour early. The other people were also within the protest. You know, like part of the people who can just join the group. They don't
It
know
wasn't
what
me.
they're protesting for.
Nah, it wasn't
Until the
me.
police can't grab all of them and they say, oh, well, why
I had no clue. I thought it was a joke when you guys were going back and forth. But
the confession was
serves
not
me
There was
right.
no verdict. Nobody said anything.
and you see,
Right. So
That's
it
some of the
serves me right for
inconclusive
not being
behavior of Liberians that we
Eh,
try to
eh,
fight against.
That
So,
ain't happening.
Let's move on.
yeah, move it and
No.
If it's
Everybody
live,
has to do a humor move on.
And
No.
granted, the person that the two people were really accommodating were the woman that talking there on the British continent and the other woman that are sitting there in Africa.
yeah, but you guys
Yeah.
didn't say anything about it. You know, at least he go off soon. So
Yeah,
I
that
know.
is-
All
that's
of a
part of the
sudden, I
problem.
just see, Gladys, let me tell you the truth. All of a sudden, I'm like, are they really on? And I'm like, oh,
And
really? You know how it's like
and
Mean Girl?
hello,
It's
Robina.
like Mean Girls.
Robina.
Can I finish? It felt like Mean Girls. So I'm like, are they serious?
they were clicking, ganging up.
Right.
I see baby,
Number
you're
two,
doing
like you said, Charlene, if we read, we will be okay.
I ain't got nothing to do
Because
with reading.
not only
No,
I
It
share
has
the
nothing to
flyers,
do with
it was
reading.
not
them.
You all should
confirmed.
have reminded us this morning.
not
It was
only
not
do I share the
confirmed.
flyer with them,
Thank you
I
very
go
much.
in the room and I say, I will see you at this time.
Where are
I
you?
tag them in the post that will be going on in an hour. So apparently what I need to do now is to pick up the phone and say, hello, we're going to be going on at this. And then wasn't there somebody else who asked me about, anyway, yeah.
Did you call me? My phone
Uh-huh.
was ringing. So
So yeah, well, let's move on. So so our show really we do interview some of our personality people in Liberia on various topics. We did an interview last week with Counselor Seward Cooper on the issue of citizenships for Liberian. If you missed that interview, I put the link up there. So all the past shows will be on there. You can go on and watch. Today we have Dede on. Now, next week, this is Robina's last week. I don't even know how to announce it. It's like she went and started one new job in America.
Where she going?
She started one new job. It will interfere with our time. So yeah, while we're starting at 4 Eastern time, it will be 3 o'clock her time, and she will still be at work. So by the time she gets off, we will be off. So
she'll be tired too.
She will be tired. Yeah. We worry about her tiredness. She will just be missing it. But I think the schedule will change after a couple of months. So, yeah.
You can buy a little doll or something and just put it on there of my bob head and just say she's here, but she can't go.
Look at what show.
People do that. What are you talking about? You saw the Braxtons, how they had Tony all the time. Tony wasn't there, but they had Tony on everything. She was kind of following her sister.
So in addition to interviewing people, we couldn't have Counselor Cooper on live. So we pre-recorded the interview, but we also get topics of what's happening in Liberia or in the Liberian community, whether it's on the ground in the diaspora. And we just talk about the different things that are happening. And we pick a topic, a social issue, and we discuss it. And this week was kind of hard selecting a topic because it seemed like we want to talk about loving business, but like we scared to talk about it, but we want to talk about it, but we scared to talk about it. So we're still trying to find the right balance and the bravery to talk about loving business, but we decided to talk about finances in a relationship. Do it make or break the relationship? When there's mostly if it's lack of, or if there's one person that's bringing more. Usually when the man is bringing a lot of the money into the relationship, it seems as if it's okay. When the women start bringing plenty of money and the men not bringing it, it seems like that's a problem. I don't know. What is your take on this?
It's a problem.
Why do so many people break out over money business?
Because it's touchy. It's very touchy.
Now,
first of all,
yes.
Let me say, first of all, putting it in a Liberian context, right? First of all, we didn't grow up or we're not in a culture of growing up and talking easily about money.
Hmm.
You don't see parents talking to their kids about money. Like, you know, I mean, sometimes we have the little piggy bank. They used to get the 5 cent, 10 cent, and they say put it in a piggy bank or the cash box. But then they give you the money, but they don't tell you what to do with it, how to spend it. We didn't know about budgeting. We didn't know about, you know, and credit. We didn't know about those financial topics that you should talk with your kids. We didn't see our parents sitting around the table and talking about money.
Yeah.
So we're not used to the idea of freely talking about money when we're getting into a relationship. You know, we just go with the assumption that the person get money. Oh, the man working so and so play, he making money. But you don't even know how much he's making.
Right.
We're uncomfortable to talk about money. It's a taboo subject in our culture. And that's what brings a lot of bad vibes to the relationship, because when you sink yourself into the relationship now, then you find like, oh, but I don't even know how much the man making. I don't even know how much my wife making or the woman making. We're budgeting to say, okay, school fee time coming in September, so we got to plan and put it one aside for school fee. Because no school year starts in September. Are we going to buy the children uniform and pay the other fees associated with this? So that even talk to the children when the parents didn't get money, you will not know. For me, I used to take the bar. I used to all my siblings. I used to take the bar because I was born in January. The only excuse they used to give me that hard money. We spend all the money during Christmas time. So I know used to get no gift. I know used to get no birthday party because my own born in January. All my other siblings, they were born during the rest of the year, they will get something. But how y'all not know that my birthday will come every January? That y'all not buy me a cake or not buy me this one thing, you know? I remember one time my mom was going to go buy my bicycle. Then she said she wants to start Rally Town Market out before the war. We go to Rally Town Market, the woman used all the money for us to work on Johnson Road now. She said the money for my bicycle that she used for market money. So I didn't get my bicycle. So, and she said she would buy it. She didn't buy that bicycle for me because January had passed.
Right.
So, you know, our parents were very comfortable. They didn't talk to us about money. They said, you know what? When our money business how we saving our school fee time coming. But then afterwards, then we'll know what to do and you know and stuff like that. You gotta be comfortable to talk. And those are the same things that we take from our childhood to our relationships. We know how to talk about money in our childhood, or used to it. So we don't know how to talk about it, you know, relationship. We can be scared to talk about it, you know, so with my care today. I broke today, you know, but I will see what to do. The other partner is supposed to understand. I think it's the lack of communication and the fear of communicating about our lack of money at a certain point in time. Because, you know, money business can kind of go like Brooke say, you know, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But I think it's the lack of communication and the fear of communicating about it that can bring all of those fissures and issues in a relationship. They can end up being big and blowing up in the couple or the partner's faces. That's my view.
Yeah. And then, you know, I read a couple of articles and they were saying how it's such a deeper issue than just money. Like you said, number one is the lack of communication. The other thing, it has to do with like your beliefs, your personal beliefs, how you grew up. There are some people that might look at money as security, having security. There's some other people who look at money as it being a status thing. And then the other deep issue that I talk about is, of course, your values, what you prioritize. You could be in a relationship with someone who look at money, like they want to spend their money on shoes, personal things. Whereas you got somebody else who, their priority is like, oh, like what?
Ferragamos.
It's material things versus you have somebody who the priority is not that. Because their value, your system is very different. Their priorities are extremely different. And then, of course, it's also about power. There are some people who are in the relationship, they call it financial abuse. If you're in there, your power, your partner is limiting your access to money. It's called financial abuse. All kind of abuse, emotional abuse and financial abuse. And then, of course, all of this lead to what is a lack of trust. People just like trust each other. Yeah. So the money issue is not just the money, is like the lack of communication, your belief system, your value system, your power struggle system, and which leads to trust in the relationship.
In Liberia, there are a few reasons why money breaks relationships. One is money is used as a weapon to hold the relationship.
Abuse.
Mm.
Yes, money is used as a weapon. And most times it is men who have money.
Yeah.
So they try to make you kiss their toes to get the money to you. They want you to succumb to whatever they want for you to get it. And most times, considering the economic statuses of the females, you need money for your school, you need money for your daily activities. So that is on hold. A
Okay.
second point with
Eh,
money breaking relationship.
What's going on there? So
Okay.
let's get it on.
Oh, my ringtone.
Oh,
That's my ringtone. Look at the old people.
I'm sorry.
all right. What? Yeah. Go ahead, Ma.
A second point.
Oh,
I feel money is a source of security, but most times in Liberia, people try to use cash violence. You know, they don't come forth. They don't come clean as to what they have. Or men come to you for a relationship, you tell him, oh, I want a new bag for 500, he buy it. I want a new shoes for 1,000, he buys it. And you are of the belief that he has a lot where that is coming from, not knowing he's only doing it to impress you.
And to draw you in a relationship.
Exactly. So by the time you finish getting everything done, then you realize that that person was actually breaking their bank to put your mind in a position where they can have you to their side. And most times it is either too late for you to want to try to make sense of it. You already angry, so you leave.
Well, as far as I look at finances, I am very traditional. So I believe that men are supposed to be the breadwinner, right? Regardless if the woman is making equally as much as the man, but the man is supposed to be the breadwinner. I know these days with our new feminists and girl power, and we can do this and we can do that. All of that is welcome, but I am like of the traditional upbringing where the man is supposed to be the breadwinner, the man is supposed to be the provider. So women are just supposed to, we're going to reinforce and boost that man up to the place that we want to be, right? But in my opinion, I don't take anything away from women's position. Obviously, I don't, because I'm a working woman. I've been working since I was 15 years old. So that's not even an issue for me. But I do believe that men need to just put themselves in that position where you are the provider, the breadwinner. You're supposed to lead and guide your wife, your significant other, and groom your children as well. So that's my opinion. I think that
But most times, I think, as
I
Dede
believe-
said,
I
is
believe-
communication. Because
can't hear.
if a man is providing, obviously there are times that you won't be able to provide certain things.
Exactly.
And most times the problem comes in relationship when that particular duty which has been entrusted onto you is not being fulfilled. If you
So
start
if
gambling or
if
you start
listen-
hanging out
if
so
you-
much more, and
if
you
you
use so
listen
much
to
of the
me-
money that you need for your household use, and you're not communicating with your partner on what it is an issue.
Okay, Claudette, if you listen to me, I didn't say that there won't be hard times. Anybody can fall on hard times. But what I said was the man is supposed to be, traditionally, this is what the man is supposed to be, the breadwinner and the provider. And as a woman, or in our position as the wife, the girlfriend, or whomever, we should reinforce what this man is able to provide. So if this man falls on hard time, then we can help him we can boost him. We can also, you know, participate in the maintenance of the household. But in my opinion, and you guys don't have to agree with me, but I believe that's what the man's position is supposed to be.
Okay,
I
let me say this.
believe, okay, can I say something?
that
Can I
doesn't
say,
break-
hello, I haven't said anything yet.
Hey,
Can I say
Robina,
something?
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's time for me to talk.
Let it
No,
get
I remember
our
when the
last
young
night
lady
experience.
said, the young lady
Yeah,
said that we
talk.
let it get talk. So let me talk now. All right. Thank you. Now, I believe in a balance. And I will say why I believe in the balance. There comes a time where you will get it all, and there comes a time where it's not going to be available. I tell you what, when it's not available, you go ahead and do what you got to do. I believe in having the 3 or 4 bank accounts. I believe in the middle being taken care of, meaning the family, the children, the household issue, whatever has to be done in the household. And I believe in you having your little part, and I having my little part, and the part for contingency or whatever. What I have not believed in is that one person, you know, we go through the traditional thing of the man should be the head of the household and the man should take care of everything. But sometimes what I've noticed that have put some sort of strain on the man as a man of the household. And because he believes that he needs to do that, that brings tension, that brings irregularity, that brings trouble. And then you start seeing things that are, okay, wait a minute, you know, I believe that this is what was supposed to be, but then we're having these issues. So there are a lot of things from back in the day that comes with this man should be the sole provider of the home, because some men do listen and they do carry that. So it's a to me, because I've been in a position, it's a fine line. And the way I've worked it out with my personal issue was to balance it out. And it worked when we did it that way. So that's just, you know, everybody has their own, but I feel the balance. And the balance is, if you're down, I'll carry it. If I'm down, you will carry it. If we're both down, we'll manage it. And that's how it's been.
Like
Thank
most
you.
times, you know, when it comes to a relationship,
Yeah,
where
Robina,
they have kids and they are staying separate places, you find out that that man's supposed to be responsible to pay his rent, pay the woman rent, pay the child's school fees, buy a car for the woman, make sure that he provides food for her house and his house, you know. So obviously that will bring tension, you know, that can break up any relationship, no matter how much money you have, because there is no meat in the middle. It's not like you have to provide everything, but if there is adequate communication, it always solves the problem somehow. You know, people should be okay saying, I don't have money, I'm
Money
broke
today.
this week.
Yeah.
People should be
Yes.
okay saying those things. And
Yeah.
a lot of times people are not.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I have practiced it by myself. I've practiced 2 things. I've practiced, you know, if somebody say, how you coming on? If I'm not okay, I practice saying, I'm not okay. If I want to talk, I talk. If I don't want to talk, that's fine. But I will say that I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And I know how
This is a lot of
come on, let's
tension.
go out. I will tell you, say, I don't got money.
Yes.
You know,
And
I will say, I don't
yeah.
got money. Yeah.
I think
It's not going to change money. People need to be able to communicate financially where their stance is, you know, what their status is at that moment. You can't keep pretending, especially in front of your friends or so, you know, couples will be there and your friend will be like, oh, I bet you can't give me $50. You know that only that $50 you're depending on, but because you want to show off in front of your girlfriend friends or in front of your man or something, you're taking your last money out and giving it out without
pressure.
Yes.
Pressure. Yeah.
You have to be able to have a stable relationship and be able to balance finance. You have to be able to communicate and spend wisely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
You know, as I was listening to you guys, I think the bottom line is when you find a partner, you have to be able to talk to your partner. You should find a partner that both of you share the same belief and value system when it comes to money. Because as Charlene was saying, oh, she believes it's traditional. I don't believe in tradition. I think there's some tradition that's old that needs to go away. So for me, yeah, I'm like, it's not traditional. I've been single for so many years. I've never lived with a man where we had to sit down and discuss finances. So for me, it's not even tradition. So I don't even see it that way. Then maybe what my grandmother, not even my grandma, because my grandma, you know, she was married for a short time, but she's really been an independent woman or who took care of her children, regardless of if her husband was doing it or not. But I've been single for so long and I've had to depend on me. So that tradition of saying, oh, the man should take care of the house, what in the absence of the man, then what? You know, yeah. So for
in
me,
the absence of a man, then you do what you gotta do.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. To me, it's not tradition. So my tradition will be, if you should have a partner, it should be somebody who you share the same values, the same belief. And the only way to know that is to communicate. When y'all sit to the table and you're talking to somebody who, when he think about money, he think about buying shoes and cars, and you're not for me, because that's not my belief, you know, system. Because something might happen to you one day, and I might have to carry the load, and you might be expecting me to be buying cars when I'm thinking like, man, but Papa, we got to take care of the this.
And things to take care of.
Yeah.
Right?
So your belief system, your value, I think, you know, the communication is extremely important. And apparently finances is one of the hardest things to talk about relationship.
It's very hard.
Yeah,
Especially
when do you
nowadays.
get comfortable talking to your partner about it? When you're moved in together? I mean, when doing the dating process, yeah, but when doing
It's a process, Salamartu. It's a process.
What's your take on it?
I mean,
yeah,
for me, I always of the view that I always see relationship as communication, but the communication should start from the initial stage.
The first day?
And
Oh yeah.
yes.
Where your credit score?
The first day, I ask you for your credit score. I ask you how much debt you got. I asking you what your take is about money. Are you more of a saver or a spender?
Right.
Of course, you gotta feel the person. You gotta understand all those small things we can overlook. Yeah. It will come back. Those conversations that you don't want to have initially, you will end up having that conversation in the middle, and you will not like it.
And that's how you split up.
But sometimes you also see those things.
Yeah.
And
if the person is based on clothes, you will know. If the person is more into investments and business,
you will know, you know, and I think, you know, you gotta put your cards on the table and say, you know, this is me, this is what I like, this is what I like, this is what I can work through if we're going to this partnership, this is how I expect it to be, this is my short, you know. If I love to spend some time when I get it on my shortcoming, I want for you to help me work towards, you know, changing my financial behavior. So, you know, help me with my goals and everything else. But it's good to talk. We can share from the topic and think it will magically go away.
Yeah, like it will just work itself out.
Yeah, it will just work itself, and I found out that it can work itself out. Y'all got to talk about it. Y'all got to
and you have to be okay with talking about it.
And you got to be okay with talking about it. There's no shame if I broke it. Like, I know I'm trying to struggle now. I'm trying to get a new place. I got student loan debt. I'm trying to pay it off. These are my shortcomings. You know, I can't do certain things and that. I'm not, you know, first in a relationship, everybody want to impress. They want to be on their best behavior.
But you can wait till the second date at least.
Oh, but I mean, why wait for the second?
To know each other.
Because you be expecting that person to pay for everything all the time, and the person
Salamartu, what if you go on a first date and the person asks you to split the bill?
The bill, what will you do?
Then you split the bill.
And I go out here again. If he asks me,
exactly.
At
least you will know.
No, but and you. Can you ask me? I get to the table. You talking about you won't go Dutch?
Yeah, that one.
The person
y'all can see it. I like to talk about being traditional. But my mom can tell me, say, when you going, make sure you got enough money to cover your stuff and enough money to come home. So that day you go on that first date, and homeboy say, "Oh, I ordered a tea and a hamburger."
And I can pay for
it.
Not a problem. I'm gonna pay for my wine, my steak, my whatever.
Yes.
And trust and believe
Yes.
you call me tomorrow, you won't get a response.
Yeah. When you, I mean,
But
I will,
what?
I
You
will
could be
go,
losing
I
somebody
will
good.
make
Just
sure
because
I
I
can
ain't
pay
got
for
it.
my meal, that I will not wash dishes. But if you tell me we go in there, I mean, yeah,
But wait.
again, that's my belief and that's my value system. And I,
But
if
you
you
should
ask,
always
if I
have a
ask you
backup
out,
plan.
that's different thing. If I ask you
You should
out,
always have
yeah,
your backup plan.
no
You
problem.
should don't
But you
ever
can't
depend
ask me,
on
are you
someone.
looking for a woman? I can't go. Yeah, I said now money my business. You say, can I go eat?
But you
Yeah,
and the person,
I asked, I told you I wanted to go eat.
You right, yeah. You right.
you and the
Good
person
Good
have a
every day.
conversation, and the person like, oh, let's go have
Y'all
coffee.
wanna go
To
out
me,
on
You
dates.
like,
no,
oh,
to
wait
me,
a
that's
minute.
not tradition.
Okay.
No. It's not tradition. What I'm saying is that I'm not expecting every time I go out on a date with a man because he's a man, he should pay. That's not my thing. If
Yeah.
I see a guy that I'm checking it out and I'm bold enough to go and say, hey, I want to take you out. I want to take you out. That way it means. That means we'll go out, I will pay. Right?
Yeah.
And
You
you
said,
see
let's go
me,
out.
you say, I want to take you out.
Oh, he said,
But
let's
babe,
go out. Let's
that's
grab
true.
a drink. Or let's grab,
You're
you know,
right. But
grab
I was
dinner.
still have
Yeah.
my
I
card.
want to take
I
you
was still have
out.
my card with me.
That
I
way
would
it
say
means.
my
I want to
card.
take you
Choose
out.
his words wisely.
Then
Yeah,
you know what? Then the man full of
I-
dream.
You know,
Then
But
he
Shirley,
full
when
of
you
dream.
want
I will
to
pay
get
my
to the
bill
bill,
and will
nobody
not
call
go
you.
out again. Then he full of talk. You can't ask me, you looking for a woman? You can't ask me, I'll go with you. You say we're going Dutch. All right, nigga. Yeah, excuse me. You will
Oh,
go, you will go Dutch. Yeah.
bugger.
But
Sorry.
what James said, I'm going through some of the comments. People are just laughing at us. Abina, hi Abina. She said, Dede, that's right, day one. And then James Tia Tape, he says, everyone will always say all the right things in the early stages. Talk is cheap. You need to observe behaviors and watch how they respond in various situations. I do agree.
exactly.
Yes. Tanya, hey Yade. She said, we African don't do Dutch. We should what is that? Yeah. No, but it's just funny. Somebody asks you, you're looking for a woman. If I'm looking for men, then yeah. I'm looking for men. I sit down minding my business. You
But
can't
yeah,
ask me
just
again, I'm
always
a good
have your
Dutch.
backup plan. That's all.
No, but
I mean, of
it's
course.
always good to have your vex money because sometimes
Yeah,
you
but
even,
we've been
you
so
even
old.
be on that dinner and then the conversation will go so south.
Yeah.
You won't even want to
Dutch
sit there for
stay by
another,
yourself.
No.
you know.
I've left somebody in a restaurant.
I don't.
You pay a bill
Of
before you
course.
left, or you left the bill
No,
on the person.
I literally
Did you
like
pay a bill?
I called my friend number one.
Did you pay a bill?
No, they were waiting for me in the area. Yeah, Adams Morgan, right? So I went on this date and I told the boy I would be back. And it wasn't even about money per se. The conversation just sucked. I literally, when I left the boy, when that boy called me, he called me. I didn't answer. Second thing I did, I went out on a date with someone who blind date. That was my one and only blind date. And you're right, James. When you're talking to somebody, you pick up things from them.
Mhm.
He was first. He didn't like white people. We went to Adams Morgan. And he was very scared. Like we couldn't go into a restaurant. Every time we walk in, and mind you, I had high heels on. We can't go in this one. And I couldn't figure out why we just kept walking and passing all these restaurants. He finally reached a restaurant and he said, we can go in this one. We get in there. I'm talking to him. He ain't like Caucasians. Serious Black Panther-ish, yeah. He's very homophobic. I'm sitting down with him. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I need to leave you too. Yeah.
Did you leave the restaurant?
Yes. No. We agreed to meet somewhere else. I went home.
And Gabriel said what about the person who can bring a friend? You remember that we got some of them?
I will go to the counter and pay for me and my date, and they will bring it back.
Yeah.
Those are the people.
I do that one before, and I take friend on
Oh, I
date.
like that one.
But they don't know the reason why.
What's the
I'll
reason?
tell y'all,
Because you
it
want your
makes
friends
no
to
sense.
tell you.
It's disrespectful.
Oh, it is.
It's
Somebody
very,
invite me
very
to bring friends behind
disrespectful.
you. But what do you?
Even if the person is the richest person in the world, if somebody
Right,
They
you
want to
wanna
have
do
that
that.
time
Yes,
with
that's
you,
correct.
to have that time with you. They want a third wheel.
Yeah.
No, but
Sour
Dio,
rude. I
What
did
are
it.
you supposed
Let
to?
me not
I'm
lie.
sorry. Men need to wise up. You invite a lady out and she come with her 3 friends in. Obviously, she don't want you. She
Or that
don't
is
want
Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. If this woman was interested in you, she's not coming with her crew. She will come on her own so she can get to know you. But if that lady comes with 1 friend or 2 friends, she's not interested in you. She just wants a free drink, free dinner, free whatever. And that's it. 99% of the time, that woman ain't going back out with you without her friend again.
Well, there you have it. So that
And
but
I
then
do
why would
it.
you even go?
No,
Why
I've
would
done
you
it
go?
before, but I did it, and then I actually ended up going with the person. So, but
Why
I
you
But then
wanna
why you
practice
showed up?
it?
Just not show
no,
up.
it
They
wasn't
ask you
that.
out,
It
say
was
no.
just I don't
Just say
know.
no.
I just took the person. I told my friend to kind of go. I didn't.
You
I
didn't like
didn't.
him.
Just say no.
Like
I mean,
him.
you're wasting
I mean,
somebody's
you eventually
time.
got to like him, but you didn't like him initially.
Just say no. I'll come in. Finish. I don't
But
want that.
I'll tell y'all,
But sometimes you don't understand people
my
from financial
story.
situation too. So it's a little bit pressing.
No, it's rude. Let me.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
it's very
wrong.
rude
I
to
agree.
your friend.
And then
I
the
agree.
You don't
person
want a person
in that
just say
business-
no.
and that's
Yeah.
what the situation is.
Wait,
again,
what's he done
because
for?
Oh, but man,
if
you
girl
want
tells
to
you that,
drink
oh,
wine and
he my
free,
friend,
you cannot
supposed to say
Go
no.
buy myself.
Okay, so for me, right, my story is like, I really like demasculinized this guy because we went to the movies and I was probably like 19 years old and he went to the counter and bought 1 ticket for whatever movie it was. So I was standing behind him. So I like, moved him over like, give me 2 tickets and pay for the 2 tickets, went and watched the movie and I was done. So like, in a way, I'm like, dude, how do you go and even if you got enough money to buy 2 tickets, stand behind, let me go in front so you can front like I bought my ticket first. But he went and bought him 1 ticket.
No,
I was
man.
like, oh, I just pushing aside, like, can I have 2 tickets? I paid for the 2 tickets. I bought my little small popcorn, my little 1 drink. We went inside, we watched that movie from that day. Never again.
Yeah, but that reason.
It's all about communication at the end of the day. People are not supposed to be ashamed of what their financial status is. You cut
But do you
your
think
foot
it's
according to your
rude? Like,
measurement.
let me
Yeah.
ask you something. Do you think it's rude to ask the person, okay, if they say, can we go, if you want to go out to eat or whatever, is that rude to say, are we covered? But
No, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
it's
so.
rude.
I
yeah,
don't
because
think
you want to
so.
make sure.
Considering where we're
But
going
I
to.
think it should be unspoken. If a
don't
man
think so.
invites a
No,
woman
but in the case, with the perfect
unspoken
movie scene,
rule,
yeah. But
that man better have that woman covered. If she decide, no, I'm gonna pay for mine, then let her pay if that's what you wish. But
yeah.
it should be unspoken. You, Mr.
So
Man,
nowadays,
it's
you need
the
to
rule.
ask if I see if they
No,
got
but
movie for
why?
your
Why
boy.
should you? If somebody asks you
Because
out,
things are happening.
Again, we keep looking in terms of the men providing XYZ. My thing is, whosoever asks their friend,
That's how
that
it's
means
supposed
you
to be,
are
Matthew.
expected to pay.
Okay,
That's
so
how it's
listen,
supposed to be. But the world
Matthew,
has
I
changed.
ask the question. If I ask
The
a
world
man
have
out,
changed.
Matthew,
The
he might
people
ask
have
me, "Are you
COVID.
paying?"
They don't have jobs.
listen, this guy asks you out. His idea of going out and having something is maybe at how do you guys call the place? What the place they can get the
Turkeys.
coffee from?
Starbucks.
Okay, so maybe his budget is under $30 because that's what he can afford. He wants for you guys to go. Then you say no, he should take you to Red Lobster because you like it. There's a Red Lobster close by. He quietly allows that dinner to go on. Certain cases you may want to ask if it is covered because in a person's mind there's something different, especially if the person is like, oh, I want us to go to this spot, and then you're like, oh no, I don't like this spot, I want to go to this spot. Considering that there are financial differences in the prices, you should ask.
Let me say something. The good thing about America and places I've been, the waiter or the waitress comes out and goes, is this going to be 2 or 1? And the person that immediately, if a man is going to pay for your food, he immediately takes it out. In fact, before the waiter or waitress even show up to say, here is so and so, he's taking that card out. So there are ways that things can happen without you questioning. But if they come out and ask the question and it's been 5 seconds and somebody else didn't say anything, I think you better pull your card out and say, listen, it's gonna be separate and do what you gotta do. That's it. That's it.
Again, my rule is if you ask me
You pay.
I believe whoever asked them might pay. That why.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. You people to ask, then you must pay. That I look at. If I be care enough to ask you, then I'm a pay.
You guys are passing card decline.
Yeah, on their own.
You better pull your phone out. Pull it up, cause you don't watch it. T-shirt.
Yeah. Because then this will tell me. Well, I asked him about credit score.
He's not the one.
This is a problem. This is gonna be a problem.
Right?
Yeah, but people should be comfortable talking about, financial situation, relationship, especially when it comes to relationship where both of you or one of you got tentacles outside, you got extra family or extra kids, or your parents are dependent on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of different things that you have to consider. So the person may not be mean, they may not be financially low, but they just have overstretched responsibilities that you may not be aware of until later on, and obviously it is annoying.
To tell you the truth,
you have to communicate, find out if the parents living, if you know who's responsible for them, if they have siblings, who's responsible for this. Considering our African culture where we feel
you gotta send money,
we have to be responsible for every other person.
Can you imagine when you start dating your first date, you gotta find out that many people in Africa. All kind of way you gotta be asking that question.
Whether you find out later on.
No, but you know what? Honest, the way I look at first date, it's not to get all of that information. This is supposed to be a fun thing. That's how I look at it. You go on the first date with someone. It's really, what your name, are you married, you single, where do you live, what kind of job you have, just something as simple as that, instead of going deep diving into their financial history. Personally,
that comes in
maybe
time.
The second, third date, based on their job too, and all of these things you will sort of start to pick up on it, based on their job, based on the fact that if they have children, based on the fact that if the children living with them or with their mom, if they were divorced, they just got divorced recently, alimony, that we can start to we can start to be calculating. But like the first date, diving into your credit history. Hey, but I don't know. Y'all want to read some of the
That's too
comments? Gabriel said, "If I ask you out, I'm paying." Story ends.
But we know that one.
Me too.
We know that one.
Yeah, Abina says, "I think people should just."
Somebody invited me to birthday party. I had to pay.
When you go out, order what you can afford and not the most expensive thing on the menu.
Yeah,
that's another part.
Yeah,
they want
suppose if you let me on.
No, when I money you and I pay for it.
Oh, when I never eat filet mignon, you can't ask me out there. I say I won't go to the filet mignon place. Then you go take me there. Yeah, I'm not supposed to order it.
I said, what restaurant would you like to go to? They like to. What restaurant would you really? So if you ask me the restaurant, you will be ready.
Yeah. Deborah said 90% of the time, if the lady likes you, she will go slow on the menu. I do believe that. I think a lot of times there are a lot of people who are considerate when they go out on you. James said, I think, it's cool.
What's that? You go slow.
Personally,
I so bad when I don't make sure that you were correct. I bump it.
Yeah. Yeah. You ask me where I won't go. And I tell you I won't go to a restaurant that I like the food there. That the place I won't go. Yeah. You either say, then you either come and say, my girl, my parking ain't reach there. But again, sometimes men want to impress too. So they will go take you there. And the way you started, you might be able to end it. But if you ask me, say, where do you want to go? More than likely, I may not even tell you my favorite restaurant. It may be somewhere where I feel like, okay, we need to like just talk. I just want to talk to you. For me, first date, that's what it should be. It really shouldn't be just about showing off. It should be talking to somebody and deciding if you honestly want to go out on the second date with this person. If you wanted to go beyond this first date. So it can be coffee. It can be going to like a miniature golf. I'm talking like really living in America. A miniature golf.
Miniature golf, yeah.
Say small football fee.
Small football fee, yeah. You go to the coffee place, you go driving, you know, just to talk, get to know the person, find out a little nitty gritty, and then see if you want a second date with that person. And then you start to dive a little deeper into. By the fifth day, you go on the fifth day, you better know the credit score by then, because that when you're here can really he should say,
oh, you not go off, you not go to date number 5, you're here inside that thing there already now.
Exactly.
I think somebody will run away.
Anymore.
You
They
invest
will run away
inside
from
now.
you if you
But
come with your
sometimes
baggage.
people have different ways of living. Some people are extremely secretive. Some people not secretive per se, but they are private. And if you don't ask, you won't know. So you may already be in a relationship for a year or two, and find out that maybe the person not they do have, but they don't believe
But they're really
on what
rich.
you believe in. So they're not spending on the things that you think they're supposed to spend on.
They're really
The
rich.
person might probably be, the person might have,
And you were the test to see if you were
but they
eating
don't
from
believe certain things. So maybe
Yeah.
is back to belief system. So if you ask the person to provide for the house and the person is like, oh, I know you're making this much, I know you can cover the house, so I'm not going to pay attention with that. If you asking me for 10,000 or 20,000 because you want to invest, I would do it. But if you asking me for full money and to go buy toiletries and those kind of things, I'm not bothered. So it may also be, communication and understanding what each partner is capable of or what their orientation is, to be able to understand whether your financial situations will work or not.
yeah.
Oh,
And
that's it.
again, I see Preston saying, question should be what type of job you have. It's an indirect question on financial health. Honestly, yeah, what do you do for a living? And then again, as you asking that person, you trying to calculate maybe the income. You also asking them, yeah, you got children? How old are the children? The
Child
children-
support.
They lie about
Yeah,
their
the
job.
children who are you are the
Asking
children.
about what they're doing may not always nowadays.
Yeah, your job doesn't necessarily determine.
Right.
No, no. Your
As long
job
as
they're
the
not
person-
necessary. Your job is one of the questions that you ask. I always go
Right.
back to the American credit system here. If you got a jack of credit and 5 years later say you got one good job, just because you're making over $100,000, the people don't automatically say, okay, your credit will be okay, you pay your bill. They look at your credit history and they say, you know what? They joker here, don't let him pay bill. Even though he
Right.
got the money now to pay it, we have to test him out. So they don't automatically say, yeah, because you're making the money, but it's a way to measure, okay, he has the money to pay the bill. So we'll try him out a little bit. So your job is a way of testing your financial health. Your job, again, and then your job goes into, you start finding out, do you have children? How old are your children? Because a man can be making $200,000. You could have like 10 children that half of that money going in different way. Where play the children at? Where your mine at? Your mine in Africa that you gotta send her money. You building
Okay,
her.
so much.
Yeah.
I
You
think
own
that's a
house, you
little
own
bit too
condo.
much now.
No. Wait.
What I'm saying is that you could actually push somebody, because now we're taking away again. It's a very sensitive subject. You could be pushing somebody away who has a really good heart, simply because they have all these this baggage with them. Because you don't know what a woman thinking. Women, we think differently. We don't all think the same. What you may be thinking and be asking the man the question that the credit score, the children, the money, I don't know which part of the date that you'll be asking on this one. Maybe hopefully it's probably after a month or so. Yeah. But you could actually be a turn off.
When we're not talking direct. Again, we're talking indirectly. At this age, all of us sitting down here,
Oh yeah, that one.
if we're not able to determine what exactly we want in a partner and be comfortable enough to say, you know what, my belief in financial is that somebody want to get a house, want to buy a house rather than renting. If the man like to rent, maybe they're not the person for me. I mean,
So you just finding out.
you have to define. You have to define what is it you want. And then when you dating somebody, you let them know. You can't shrink yourself because you won't hurt his feelings. Then you will get into the situation where,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is that it's a fine line. So since it's a fine line, there's a way to approach it. The way you may approach it, that's not the way somebody else may approach it.
But that's what we're saying indirect. We're not saying direct. Nobody, I'm sure none of us will go talk to somebody and say, my man, where your credit score? Yeah. I'm sure on the first or second day, nobody can go ask that question. But when you ask people about their job,
we're going to waste their time.
No, but when you ask people about their job and what they do, when you ask people about their children, where their children living, you are indirectly asking them about their financial history.
You'll be putting the puzzles together.
They gotta pay. Yeah, but what if that the person you end up with anyway? So I mean, anyway.
Then you end up with him. Yeah.
Right, ladies.
Yeah. Then how they got to me because all your back is full.
We have a guest host that is extremely quiet. We need to hear what he gotta say. I'm gonna keep
talking.
Oh, the man talking. What else you want?
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep coming back to you, Counselor. Let's hear what you gotta say. Because we need to not give nobody a chance to talk.
Man, wait, man. Yeah.
Man.
But like I said, and you know,
she running on like.
I agree with bits and pieces and most of this stuff like you have contributed by saying, but you know, for me, I'm different though. For me, I get B high, I get B more. If I invite you somewhere, I'm paying.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, you know, and now being here, one of the things I like to do, if I say I want to go somewhere, I go online, see the website, pull out the menu and see what's on the menu, you know. I want to get a sense of how much it costs, you know, what the cost is. You know, I want to see what the drinks are, you know, I feel the menu to know, okay, where I'm going because I'm picking with food. I also want to see ahead of time, like what on the menu that I like. So I don't want to waste time, like, you know.
Love it.
But still, if I'm taking you out, I'm paying. Me, that man labyrinthine inside me, I know it, I love it, I like to do it, you know. You just going for a drink. Even if you say you want to get some, I say, okay, the first round on me, the second round on me, but you know, but I can enjoy paying for it, especially when I invite somebody, I enjoy it. That's me.
Yes.
You know, but I've had a situation where I invited somebody out, the person told me like, you know, I can't go out right now because I'm low on funds, which I really appreciate. I mean, they were honest to say, you know. I said, oh, no problem. Just come out, you know, I got this.
I got it.
But I appreciate that. They even told me ahead of time, like, you know, I'm ready to go out right now because I'm low on funds. Let's do it another time. But I said, oh, no, let's go for brunch, you know, let's do it. I got it, I'm paying. So you got to communicate because that no shifting money business. We can put money, we can put shifting on it, and in the end, we end up being hurt because you see, oh, but I thought, oh, but I expected, oh, but we talk about it.
Your cousin Paul said, my cousin Dede Nyeplu is a complete baller.
Baller.
Don't mind.
Yeah, baller. Shot caller.
Don't mind, he baller too.
Oh man. Clindy, hi.
You didn't tell Glenny the time we started today.
Hi, Glenny. I know Glenny.
Hi, Glenny. Big sister. Hi, big sister.
James said, well, it can't be interview stuff. We may not even want to share that much info that early. We're still deciding if that person.
He's right.
That's what I'm saying. Not they want to.
And that's what I'm saying. He's right. Because you can run somebody away if you do that. Even on the third date. But that's their way.
Rabina, you're not understanding what we're saying.
I know.
What we're saying is that you don't ask somebody what money you're making. You ask them question indirectly. These are date questions. What do you do for a living? Do you have children? Yeah, if you're not able to calculate,
but you can do it talking on the telephone. When at the talking with it.
You know what? That woman you been married a long time. That was she.
Yeah,
What if there's a question that somebody asked on a first date, second date, whatever date, and you're not comfortable with that question? Can you not say, I'm not comfortable answering that question?
Yeah,
And then
You can say
That's
that.
it.
Of course you
Yeah.
can.
If
Yeah,
the
but
question
of course you
is
can.
different for you and decide, I'm not going back out with her because she's too nosy or whatever the case may
Yes.
be, you have that right. So
It may also give
if I go in on the first day and decide I want to give you the interview questions and scrutinize what you're doing, and you decide like, I'm not into you, girl. I'm not trying to answer
Finish. You gotta wait
Can't
each other
say
time.
that. But
Yeah, but
I don't think you need to
sometimes
limit
asking
it
those
to
questions
saying,
will give
"Well, that
you.
went for the third date before I ask you if you let
Yeah,
it eat
tell
or
that
or you
it
let it
was-
eat
I'm asking you, what do you do for a living? I'm asking you, what place you live in?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
asking you, where you got children, what that situation? I would ask you, you let her travel? Where the last place you been to? Because I want to know you got passport and you can move. I would ask you questions that I'm interested in, and you can ask me questions that you're interested in. After the first day, you might decide, you know what, they care. I want to
She get hot.
Yeah, she got her problem. The huckle. Yeah, which is fine. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
besides that, the questions may also give you an idea on what the person's intention is.
Yes.
Exactly.
That person just coming to eat
And
something.
I think you need to lay it out on the price day.
All
Why
those
am I here?
questions,
Why are you here?
those
Finish.
questions should be irrelevant to them.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you will understand
worries,
that,
huh?
yeah, they just
Are
coming
you-
to pass
I'm
around.
reading the comments. Paul, I know.
Boy, it's a hot mess.
They're chunky
Tell you
somewhere.
What you say?
Okay, James said I would just get up from the table and pay the tab. Yeah, go pay, go. Yeah. Abina, some of these questions you can get them out of the way before you meet face to face. Exactly. I want to know what you do for a living. You want to know what I do for a living. I want to know
What are you wasting time to go on a date for? Don't waste your money. Don't waste your
Paul
time.
said by this at the second date, we loving now. On the third date, dolphin is fine. Preston, I strongly believe in 100% independent status of partnership. I'm able and willing to always spend, knowing that my partner is able and willing to do for herself and me whenever it is necessary. That's what some married people
There
talk
it
to
is.
you.
There it is.
All right, yeah.
They
All
have
right,
big
they
Gotta
got
go
married
to
people
the
there.
gym to talk.
All that sweet thing they're talking. Thank you.
There it is.
Why waste your time on the first day asking all these questions while you should be having fun? Exactly. I want to have fun. I want to play
Yeah, but
mini
you're not having
golf.
fun when you're asking the
I
question.
want to go skydiving, indoor
Yeah, but don't be
skydiving.
asking it.
So let me see how you do the skydiving.
Be asking the question why you upside
Holding
down.
the rope.
Skydiving, not jumping in.
Yes, I'm chopping.
I want to go rock climbing. That
You
one.
saw her pulling the rope?
Yeah.
No, but it's important to
zip lining.
communicate. You know, the earlier the better. I think that's all we take from this. The earlier it is you communicate what the financial status is of your partner, the better it is for you and for the long term.
Because you know
I think the older you are, Dede, you tend to just push stuff because older people ain't got time to waste and be playing your games. You set it straight from the minute. Excuse me, why are we here? Why are you with me? Why am I with you? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we finished that straight. This is what we're doing, right? So nobody should throw anybody off. Then exactly. When you're older, you got time for that me. No. Let's get to the point.
Yeah, I think that's
you enjoy yourself, you know?
Yeah. Go on a date. I go on the first day. I honestly want to enjoy myself. However, I want to see if I want to come on the second date. So yeah, I would definitely ask, what are you doing for a living? That is very important to me.
Yes.
I want to know about your children's situation. It's extremely important to me. So whether it's on the phone, whether it's on that particular day, I'm gonna ask those questions. Good. And then after I get up out there, we're talking now, we WhatsApping, we go play miniature golf.
It's skydiving.
It's skydiving.
For a rope, right? You said a zip line.
And rock climbing, that's what I mean. Yeah, the rock climbing. Yeah, we do all that one. We go to the park, get a drink, yeah. Then I can start feeding the other questions in there. And I will hope you're doing the same to me, So, but anyway, finances, like you said, I guess the bottom line is one, you got to learn how to communicate with your partner.
I've been to Amazon.
And be comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
You got to be comfortable talking about it because the recurrent conversation, that conversation, it got expiration date in a relationship. Yeah. It will not stop. That recurrent conversation, you got to be in a comfort zone of talking about it the big finances, the small finances, you gotta keep talking about it because it will not finish. It can't end.
And understanding. I think there should be some understanding.
And be honest. Be very honest. Be honest
Yeah.
about your finances, which includes what kind of debt you in. You know, what are the 5th day, the 4th day when you move, before you move in, definitely before you move in. Everybody has to understand where to stand. You know, do you have a lot of debt? Do you
Student loan.
The way you ask another question, you say, my man, your student loan waive? But
student loan, because student loan can be the first student loan you go into, especially in this country. I mean, yeah, and you got a good job.
Wait, Dede, get your cousin for. Get your cousin for. I can already tell that Salamartu looking for white man. All that rock climbing coffee that white people take.
Nothing wrong with white man. White man got love you too. White man got love you. There's nothing wrong with white man. White man got love you, Matu.
I'm not looking for anything. I'm just saying.
For a good man.
It's a date, not a Spanish Inquisition. Oh, Jesus. I'm dating you, not marrying you. The stuff you're talking about is when the relationship gets serious. It better happen before you move in with the person, Mr. James.
You can ask when a relationship is already serious. What if you are dating?
No, but that's how I was saying the financial thing and those things that you're bringing in. Sometimes you will not even end up with this person. So initially, that again, it has to do with where you are. I'm big on your age and so forth, because if you just hopping around and just enjoying yourself, you just enjoy yourself. But if you want a serious relationship and you're saying, listen to me, don't waste my time here because I don't have enough time to waste with you. we're going to cut to the chase. We're going to say what we have to say. And are we in this or are we out of this? Are we willing to go to get to know each other the way we're supposed to get to know each other? Do we want to maybe eventually move in? Hit the points right away, because ain't nobody got time to waste no more. And then again, you're depending on where you are. Seriously, nobody got time to waste.
James, we're talking about relationship periods, not just the first date. I think you came in at the last portion of the conversation. So it's not when we talk about moving, we're talking about relationship. Whether it's we're talking about finances. Do they make, or why do they break so many relationships? So when you're moving in, when you go on the first day, when you marry, why is finance such a tough thing to talk about? And it usually like breaks up marriages, it breaks up relationship before it even gets started at times. So we know that number one, communication is key. You have to communicate with your partner, whether you starting off from the first date, whether you're about to move in with the person, communication is key. You need to figure out when is the best time to start talking about these things before it gets to the point where you're fighting about it. Because a lot of times we're scared to talk about it. I mean, even right now, we're trying to figure out, should you talk on the first date? Should you talk on the second date? You talk on the third date? So it seemed like a very difficult conversation to have. That's one. Two, you have to be honest about your finances. Whatever time frame you and the person decided that this was a serious relationship, you have to be honest about, with this person, especially for people who may be moving in together, maybe getting engaged, maybe trying to get married. You have to be honest about it. You don't want your partner to get into the relationship and then find out that you got some kind of heavy debt. Even forget the student loan, you got some kind of big debt that they weren't even sure about. Y'all go buy a house, and then next thing you know, they come in repossess.
I know, right? I'm like, what did I
get? Weighing you too.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, you sit with the realtor, they're like,
men come approach women because they're trying to gauge you and find out whether you can provide certain things. Yeah. So if you don't ask, the person will weigh you and do what you feel to do.
And you know what? You can protect yourself too by, like I said, when you first come to tell you, I like you, or I want to do this, say, listen to me. This is what I'm about, because you were either scared him to run away or he was cheated. So you just let him know straight up.
And also be willing to compromise. I know we're laughing a lot about it, but a lot of times you may meet somebody who may not be on the same level as you. They might have a little bit more, they might be, ahead. You might not be there, or you might have more. Be willing to sit down. This is where the communication honesty come in, where you're able to sit down and you're able to compromise. To say, like Robina was saying, maybe we'll have a joint account to pay the household expenses, or and then have our individual account. And every month we will go ahead and put this much to take care of the household. Maybe we'll have a savings account. Maybe we'll have an entertainment account, whatever. But you have to be willing to compromise if you're going to be with the person, because you might meet somebody who just may not be as financially stable, but they just have everything else going on for them. So I know we're laughing a lot, but I think we're all very mature and we're all very understanding. The other Mary put in talking, oh, my thing I'm gonna go awful. So with that said, to our guests, you have the final word before we tune out.
Well, I think like I told you guys last week, I think this I like the conversation, how healthy it is. I like how we bring you guys bring different viewpoints to the table and to the discussion. And I just like how diverse the topic is. You go from the serious to the hot topic, and and to the social issues. It helps to keep us entertained, and it helps to just have people tune in and to just hear different aspects of different voices. So I encourage you guys to keep it up. I can commit not to appear every day, but most of the time I would like to just show up on the show to be a special guest, especially too, if you guys are having legal issues too. I can bring a legal perspective, what the law says. I can bring a legal perspective to the discussion about what the law says, and how you can do, how people can do, to understand certain legal situations.
We'll be talking about
so yes, I'm here, I'm available, I'm a fan of the show. Yeah, please call me every now and then. Let me know. I'll find the time.
You didn't know you are a lawyer?
No, I mean the people like I've represented all of you. I've represented everybody here on the show.
They know why I'm frisky. Let it be there. They were balanced. No, but this was good. This was healthy. We will talk more about this, ladies, but I think next week we really wanted to talk about not mental issue, but just like mental, emotional stability. Anyway, we'll talk about more, and then we will let you all know who our next guest will be for next week. So because Robina will be gone, she will not be joining us.
I know.
So
enjoy the new job.
Yeah, our first check with us though.
Yeah, she better.
Excuse me, I already did.
I don't want no part of the check. I just want my flight benefits.
I want both. I want both.
Easy.
Yeah, you know what? I have a huge holiday surprise for you all. So
great. I remember someone asked our Liberian passport though. We need to
girl. We'll be
I have a huge holiday surprise. So you know what? Because of my leaving, I have a huge holiday surprise for you all. And you get that surprise. I love you all. Continue doing what you do. This is
wish
awesome.
you all the best.
When we'll get a surprise.
It's a Christmas yet.
It's a holiday.
Merry Christmas.
But we talk every day, really. We talk every day, don't we?
But you didn't specify the holiday.
Huh?
They got
December.
coming, yeah, don't worry.
December.
December.
Clear schedule.
At least, but I thought she would be finished with probation.
No, I am. I'm finished. I'm graduating.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Good night.
Good night. Bye, everybody.